You just got pwned, 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 pwned. Got pwned, pwned. Blah, 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 blah. You just got owned. Got pwned, pwned. Got pwned. You just got pwned, pwned.
And we are live.
Oh.
And my microphone is on. And your microphones are on. And everybody can hear us. And everybody can see us. And everyone's in the right place. Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday morning. It is time for some Dungeons and Dragons. I am St. Brian, otherwise known as Brian Wiggins, your dungeon master for this morning. And before we get into today's adventure, we should probably introduce the dramatis persona. And everyone can introduce who they are and who they're playing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Normally you do like, and we're starting.
And we're starting with...
You have to guide us through this process,
I'm
Brian.
sorry.
You have to...
For one, I'm not awake enough to make these choices on my own.
Yes,
I need a
true.
guiding hand.
So over
Also,
here to my left...
Stop poking me. No.
It would be really good if you could get a pen coming through the other side there, like. Stop,
hold on.
Stop.
Is it this way?
If you could actually do that to me, like, this would not work.
Is it like this?
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Here we go. And coming through. All right. Yes, we're terrible. Anyway, beginning with.
Anyways. I will feature, since last week was too cute. This week is significantly less cute.
Kind of cool.
Yes.
I am Clues playing Dread My Gem Weaver Tinker Norm Extraordinaire. I'm getting pop-ups. Go away. You're distracting me.
She's already in character, guys. And it was a little shiny.
Steam's like, hello, you want this? No, stop.
Not now. Later.
Not
No,
now,
listen,
not
Steam,
now.
I will tell you when I want something, because then I will buy it. And then you will know that I wanted it.
Big facts.
Stop you and your predictive algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
We've got this queue for you. This queue is full of shit. But we made it for you, and it's full of shit.
Continuing.
Don't do this again.
Continuing around the horn, to my right.
Hi. I'm Yvonne, also known as Viking Goat. I play Thunder Chantran, Nature Domain Cleric.
Shaped like a friend. Friendship.
Person.
Yes.
Thing.
And now to my right and below.
Me?
Yes,
Yeah.
you.
You're gonna just have to say the bald
Yeah.
guy.
Go.
Well,
That does narrow it down.
anyway.
It does narrow it down because obviously Brian's not gonna introduce himself twice.
Oh.
That'd be cool.
Brian just does all the introductions, all the voices,
I'm mostly important.
all the dice rolling. We're just here. I am Blind Cleric playing Hugon Valander, human fighter, who has wandered off on his own purpose and intent to the wilds of Sigil. And yeah, so that's a thing. I am unsupervised at the conjunction of all planes. No, I don't need an adult. Adults would only adults would only hinder me.
It's too early. You normally wait for like halfway through the game.
Oh, and it's puppy time. For those in the podcast, Clues is getting attacked by
Be mauled.
by
Yes,
a puppy. But while she is being mauled, last but by no means least.
Oh, hi. I'm Roz, also known as Purple Monkey Robots, but today I'll be playing Eno, the Tiefling Bard, in the Hinterlands.
Ooh, that's gonna be the new
of
album.
Sigil,
That's the new album. That'll be
where we'll be hindering Hugon's
Hinterlands.
hinder
time.
So yeah, this is Team X, Team Xenagog, an official franchise of Acquisitions Incorporated that operates out of Pinedale with exclusive rights to the Chandlewood region. But as was just mentioned, they currently find themselves in the City of Doors, in Sigil, a nexus of sorts of interplanar travel. And they had gone there with varying goals in mind that we just absolutely did not forget what they were last week, and we're just waiting until this week to tell you what they were. It had nothing to do with us not remembering from what happened from several games ago at all. No, it didn't happen. It's just not what it is. But while there, as again was previously mentioned, Hugon had wandered off to find blood. I wish we did have that. To find blood, to concoct a ritual of sorts that has some might be having some unforeseen consequences or repercussions, or we don't know yet. But the mask that he has worn into battle to this point, known as Delotha, has morphed into something of a more organic nature. And
there's
what?
I'm trying to remember. There is a. Continue.
Okay, I thought.
When I find it, I'll let you know.
Okay, but also while there, they were also greeted by Grandmama Gemweaver, who has a shop there in Sigil, where she quickly got them off the streets because sometimes Sigil is not a safe place. It is a place that you have to have. You got to keep your wits about you, because if you don't, bad things can happen. But Grandmama Gemweaver has taken the team down into her workshop, which is below the front business that she runs, a bakery, because little Grandma Tinker Gnome runs a little bakery. But underneath are the we'll say the Gemweaver Skunk Works, where artificers are. All Tinker Gnomes are building things and doing what Tinker Gnomes do, and who knows what kind of shenanigans and chicanery and tomfoolery that they're getting up to. But that is where we currently lay our scene. Grandmama Gemweaver had brought the team back into her little workshop area in the sub-basement of Gemweaver's Goods and Sundries, and has brought the team in there, which right now just includes Thunuk, Eno, and Dren, and Alexi, and who has been tagging along very silently. He's a very quiet traveling companion. Yes, she has brought you there and brought you some tea, because tea, that's what grandmas do. And there's some biscuits, some warm, some hot biscuits that are brought down, fresh out of the oven. Because again, if grandma runs a bakery and you're not getting fresh baked goods, there's a miss, right?
Maybe she hates you, so I mean, there could be that.
Nah, Grandmama Gemweaver does not hate them.
I'm just saying.
So,
I mean, not everybody is entitled to free shit upon walking into a door.
So her workshop was in the back of this longer sub basement. She has closed these double. Well, she didn't close actually. The barn, these double thick oaken double barn doors that were high enough, that were tall enough to allow Thunuk to walk through unimpeded, close behind her, behind all of you, on it's seemingly their own mechanism. You're not sure if you hear a slight hiss of like steam or something like that as they close behind you. You're not sure entirely that the doors were built because she was intending for tall people to be able to pass beneath them, or Dren, you think it's more because of the things that she sometimes builds are big, and when you're building things, you need to make sure that you have the ability to get the thing out of the room, because every artificer, every tinker has done this, where you build the thing And then it turns out in your workshop, and it's great, it's perfect, but it won't fit out the door.
I'm not scared to admit that IRL, I have built things and then forgot that it won't fit through the door and have taken out doors and walls.
It has happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also worried that we lost Yvonne. I'm not sure if he's asleep.
Either that or he fell asleep.
He's deep in thought. He's imagining. He's deep
He's
imagining the
imagineering.
screen.
He's not imagining. He's imagineering.
He's imagineering.
He's going in
Imagineering.
deep.
Deepest of sleeps.
But they close behind you. In there, you see she has like a central work station, a long workshop table that is gnome sized. So it's of gnomish proportions. Everything in there is of gnomish proportions. So she's got.
I'm picturing everyone else is
Uh-oh.
going to be extremely uncomfortable except for me and Grandmama.
Well, it's more like I think there would be like a sense of it's like for Eno and Thunic, it's more of a sense of not vertigo, but a little like things are. You feel much taller than you usually do. You know, it's like because it's not like it's like dollhouse sized where your brain can immediately be like, oh, that is a dollhouse. No, these are all the exact right proportions for someone who is approximately a quarter of your size. So it's a little just every now and again it's like you kind of have to like readjust your equilibrium to take all that in. And
You're sitting on my.
And but she has the big station in the middle, where it looks like she has a few different projects going, and then she has there's workbenches all along. I mean, the walls are just if there's like a workbench that's sort of built into the wall that goes around the entire room, and then beneath it and above it is just storage. Whether it's like tools mounted to the wall, or tools hanging on the wall, little various nooks and crannies that of a organizational system of her own design for where she keeps all of her little spare parts and everything, washers, nuts, bolts, screws, springs, and drawers and everything. And it's actually a very surprisingly immaculate space. Working though, I mean, in that there are projects that are being worked on. You could see throughout the room, but it's not a state of disarray or disorganization or chaos. It is very much a working space, and you can see where almost each project looks like they're working. It has its own like little space where, okay, this is where this project is being made. This is where this project is being made. But she has one of the other gnomes from upstairs come down and bring in some a platter of warm bread, warm things right out of the. Hang on, sorry.
You got distracted mid-bread.
I did. Listen, bread. You smell bread, and it's just like, oh. And there's some nice tea and everything.
It triggers the bread mechanism in the brain.
It does, and it's a very primal, genetically encoded.
It says, "This is now the most important thing. All the things that you were talking about are less important than the bread."
And you know what? Most of the time, that's accurate.
It's true. It's true. I know that, like, when my uncle was DMing and my aunt pulled out the fresh sourdough, I was like, this is going to be on hold for a minute whilst I eat.
So she brings all this stuff down to you, and she like sits back on one of the stools that she has on her workbench next to her workbench. And you can see, she's got her, she has her her staff, kind of helps, climbs up a little bit, creaky bones and all that, and she sits down with she sits
Considering she should be dead, she's got to be like past the point of old.
Considering you should be dead.
I'm close. I'm also not entirely human.
You're a gnome, of course not.
Not entirely gnome, full gnome.
There's parts. And she sits down, and she looks at you, and she's always feel good to get off the feet there. All right, girl. So you've been making noise for months now. I mean, I could hear.
Depends on what you consider noise. I'm always making noise.
No, I mean other than that. I mean like not your normal, not your normal noise. You know what I'm talking about. You and your friends here have been making quite a ruckus. If I'm able to hear it all the way over here, and I'm able to hear the noise. I mean, I could hear you coming through the brush from a mile away. It was just, oh man, what have I always told you? What have I always told you about that? What's the first thing I taught you about being a tinker?
Control your chaos.
That is correct. Well, it's a good thing you came to see Grandmama, so maybe we can get you up, get you straight. So, but aside from all the other bullshit that you've been causing out there, why are you here?
Let's see. Why are we here? We're here for Lexi, aren't we? We're here to figure out where that whole thing came from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just out of character.
Out of character, yes.
Out of character. If I remember right, it was all this Lexi business that it was like.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of questions that seem to have come up over the previous, 2.5 seasons. That it was like Grandmama Gemweaver's been around for a spell, and she knows a thing.
I think just for what Dren was there for, that I think that was my immediate thing.
Yeah, the most immediate thing was that hang on, we got our Viking
out of order
back.
now, aren't we?
We're back.
Hi, sorry.
It's okay. So yeah, the most pressing and immediate thing was to find out what had happened to Alexei when he had shown back up, and why does he appear to be a cyborg. But I know in general it was when I look back at my notes, it was there were some general questions that you had in mind because Grandmama has been around for quite some time and has seen some shit, and she's seen some things and some stuff, and so it's like she might be a font of information. So, but that's all the OOC stuff. So, and just to bring Thunic back up to speed, in Grandmama Gemweaver's workshop, doors big enough for big things to be rolled out of there, big projects, so Thunic was able to get in no problem. But all the workbenches and everything are gnome proportioned, so it's even smaller looking for Thunic.
He is absolutely delighted at the juxtaposition of doors that fit him, but things that do not.
And she has brought in warm buns she had some warm buns from the bakery upstairs brought in with some tea. But again, the teacups are probably gnomish sized as well. So it'd be very, little tiny little sips, but she has that set up. And this is where we find ourselves. We find ourselves, and she has asked, "How can I help y'all?"
I think I would go over to where, and Lexi are, and kind of like drag Lexi forward and do like the show, like.
Yes.
What? And point at Eno. It's like, bleh.
By the way, this bread is great, Grandma Drenweaver. Gemweaver.
Ain't you sweet?
Yeah. And he takes a sip of tea.
Oh, you can call me Naughty.
Oh, Naughty. Oh, yes. I'm Eno. And this is my friend Alexi. And, a while back, I mean, who knows how long it really has been, but a while back, I was supposed to meet my friend Alexi in Waterdeep. And he never showed up. And then I got sort of teleported to a monastery, and it's the same monastery that Alexi was from. And that's where I met your granddaughter and became part of her group. But something happened to my friend Alexi, perhaps at the same time that I was teleported, not sure. But around that time that I was supposed to meet him, he disappeared and perhaps went to the Shadowfell, perhaps died, perhaps was turned into an agent of Shadow. Not sure what's going on. I myself have been investigating certain methods of shadow, certain councils of shadow. Perhaps they had something to do with this.
Have they come back again?
I think they've always been here.
They come and they go. They're a damn nuisance is what they are. Sticking their noses in where it don't belong. Just, ooh, we're Shadow Council. Ooh, look, we're going to do things now. We're going to...
Yeah, they've certainly done a lot. But long and the short of it is he seems to be some kind of half robot now.
And for that, she gets like a little cocked eyebrow, and she looks at him and goes, "All right, come on over here. Let me have a look. Let me have a look at you."
Time to go dissect him.
And she like has this, the glasses that are hanging from the chain around her neck, and she pulls them up. And then you can see though that she like makes some like adjustments like to the glasses, like she like is like rotating something, and like the eyes get like really big, you know, like it's like the magnifying effect. And she pulls Alexi down, and she's like looking at him, and she like open your mouth and say ah. Okay, looks in there, and like she's like looking up, looking up in his nose there, and she's checking his ears. He pulls his eyelid down a little bit, so does like the eye check, and well, you are a nice piece of work, ain't you? Mind if I take a closer look at you to see what we could find out? And she's like,
ooh, can I help?
Oh, certainly, dear. Certainly, dear. Go get the.
You can help by not helping.
Do me a favor. Go get the scanning spanner.
Okay.
And so she like clears off a little space around in one of the work tables in the middle there, a little space there, and she has Alexi lay down on it, and then she like pulls something from, it's like a sheet of glass she pulls from underneath the table, and it like folds up in front of the table. So now you have Alexi laying on the table and a sheet of glass there, and you come over with the tool that she has requested, and she like,
and maybe some extra knives. Aha, and tools.
No, we're not dissecting him. That's not. No.
I do wanna do the thing where what I did last time.
I'm not a mimic.
What
and the
did
knife
I do?
says, "I'm not a mimic."
What did I have to do? I had to like punch him or something, and then it had a reaction.
You don't
remember that?
You don't. Girls, go sit on your hands. You stop it right now.
That was helpful. Don't fuck off.
Don't sass me, girl. So she like, you can see she like starts like she takes this tool that looks kind of like a screwdriver, even though that's not what a spanner is. It's just this is what she's called it. It looks kind of like a screwdriver, but it's got like an odd bend, like a kink in the middle of it, and she inserts it in the side of the work table. There was it looks like there was like a little slot she was able to reveal, and turns it on, and there's like a whirring and a humming of from somewhere inside the table, and the screen, it's the glass itself gets like a blue sheen to it, and then when she's looking at it, and you can see through the screen, you can see Alexi, but then like superimposed is like all like these inner workings, where you're seeing like in the one arm, and she's like looking at it, and she like grabs some, and she like just pushes it up there, and it like grabs like a picture of, so she's doing a lot of like the Minority Report thing, where the new Star Trek stuff, where it's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna do, and she's like grabbing pictures of it and blowing things up and everything, and she's like moving all around, and here you're seeing like the breakdown of like his anatomy, and you can see that there's organic parts that are still in there, but for the most part it looks like a lot of metal parts that have been crammed in to him. And she's like, oh, well, okay, that's an interesting configuration right there. I didn't think about that, but that's interesting. Wait, all right, and there's the power core. The power core goes in, and she's like, you can see she's like sort of talking to herself as she's like looking at how she's at all the different pieces there, and she's like, huh. This is some of the best work they've ever done. Well, that's interesting. What's this here? And she like is looking at like one specific like it looks like a on the scanning pane here. It's like a sphere that appears to have it's like blue and purple like colors swirling inside of it. And she's like, and she like blows it up and she's like looking at it and she's like, huh. Why are there two though? Should only be one. She turns to you, Eno, and she says, has he been glitching out?
Not super recently, but when we first found him, he had some issues.
Like
with
what? Like what?
Like just all of a sudden some rockets would come out of his arm and things like that. But I haven't noticed it real recently, unless he's just been doing it and I'm not paying attention. I don't know.
I think he's got two different operating systems working on him right now at the same time. And, Drenmai, what do we know about operating systems?
Some don't talk to each other, and it's really annoying.
Exactly. Yes. All right. You haven't been paying attention. Yeah, you big one. What you want?
Firstly, more tea, please. Hold up the tiny little cup like a.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear.
And then he says, "What's an operating system?" Is that what we all look like inside? Because I've seen people inside, and sometimes they don't look like that.
No, that's not what everybody looks like inside. Oh, you are sweet, aren't you? Drenmai, why don't you explain to your friend? I want to make sure you've been keeping up on your studies. Operating system. How would you describe an operating system to your friend here?
How would I describe an operating system to someone that doesn't have any understanding of anything electrical?
He knows souls and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to go with. It's like, you know how you feel drawn to the four.
Uh-huh.
And they'll talk to you, and they'll ask you to do things. That's kind of like what an operating system is. It gives you its function. It allows you to do stuff because of it. I'm like picturing all these kinds of like leaf tendrils and stuff going on, very naturey, and it doesn't like now I'm picturing circuit boards made out of vines and stuff, and it's really funny.
So he's got two of those things, swirly like things. So I have four?
No. So your four is considered one, and then it'd be like if you started worshiping, another god, and they were both at the same time.
I don't know how the four would feel about that.
Exactly.
He's getting it. I think he understands.
Exactly.
So you could understand if you had two different people telling you what to do, and those two things weren't always in agreement.
Yeah.
It'd be very confusing.
Yeah. Just it's like you with the four, and then out of nowhere you were also worshiping Lolth. They're not gonna get along real great. So it's not gonna. It won't work.
When you guys got him, is he still under warranty?
I never saw any paperwork, so my guess is no.
I mean, I warranty.
Thunnick raises his hand again.
Question from the big boy in the back there. Yes, dear.
May I have more tea?
Oh, help yourself. Help yourself.
I'll go to the kitchen and I'll go find like the biggest barrel.
From this point on, he's basically just always pouring the tea into this tiny little thimble cup and drinking it and being very polite and just paying very close attention, not understanding anything.
Well, I think you best get him. I mean, this is some fine work right here, but there is obviously a design flaw here, in that you got two separate operating systems working at the same time that are very obviously in conflict with each other. I think you best take him back and take him back to the manufacturer and make sure that he get him serviced.
He doesn't remember where he came from.
Well, I think this happened to him in the Shadowfell.
Oh no, boy! This is not from the Shadowfell.
It's not?
Oh no! He's not. This is not a creation of the Shadow. Shadowfell couldn't put work together this fine. No, but Miss Drenmai, you're disappointing me again. You can't figure out where he's from. What is the second thing I always told you about artificing?
Search for the manufacturing codes.
Yes, you always put your name on it. When you make something, you make sure people
take
know.
them apart.
Just wanted one way to get to it, girl.
I can't afford your table yet, so
No,
I can't
don't
look
need the
inside
table.
of things.
All right. Well, first of all, we'll talk about that later, girl. This here, you look at this and you look at this, and she starts pointing out like the different like design features here. She's like, you look at this, you look at this, you look at this, right? This would normally tell you this is Ravnican design, and more specifically it's Zizit, but nah, we could tell there's this, and this. And she's pointing out a couple other pieces there, and she goes, so this isn't from them. I mean, it was inspired by, but you can see there's this part here. It looks like this came right from Toril. So, nah, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is probably the work, in fact, I am sure of it, this is the work of the Machine Imperium. Ain't you in Pinedale now?
You cut out, so I didn't hear what it was.
Ain't you in the Machine Imperium? Ain't you in Pinedale now, girl?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, but you mean you haven't run into them yet?
I don't think we have, right?
Have you ever walked east far? Oh, never mind. All right, hang on a second. She brings the screen back down and slides it away. She helps, Alexi up off the table, and she goes over to one of her tables and she scrawls out a note. And hands it to you, and she goes, all right, I'm guessing, oh, hang on, your big boy there, he's the one that gets you around, ain't he?
Yep,
she points at you, Thunna. She goes, you know your way around a map, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So she pulls out one piece of paper and she hands it to you. She goes, here's your directions for how you're going to find the manufacturer. This is where you get to find where your friend here was made so you can get him serviced. And here, and she hands you, Drenmai, she hands you another note. She goes, this is what's going to get you in the door. All right, now I'm calling in a favor to get you in there. You're lucky. You're lucky you know someone who knows someone. Yes, dear. So, but you best take him to get serviced. Because if what y'all have been stirring up is what I think it is, y'all are going to need as much help as you can get. And this ain't tenable what he's got going on here.
Is he gonna die?
Well, I mean, if someone kills him, yeah. That's usually how it works, but no, he's not.
He doesn't have a self-destruct button, does he?
Sometimes they build that. I don't understand why they ever build that stuff in. That's just it doesn't ever seem to go well for anyone. Because as soon as you put in a self-destruct button, listen. What is the third thing I always told you about artificing? About putting
Not
in
everything
buttons.
blows up.
Everything blows up, and the corollary of that is if there's a button, what happens?
You push it.
Yes. So if you have a self-destruct button, what is going to happen?
Fun. Fireworks. Explosions.
Is that Deus Ex Machina? When
Yes.
when you hit the self-destruct button?
You best tell your friend to shut up with that nonsense. I do not have time for that. I have not lived as
Oh.
long as I have to be putting up with that. You best tell him not. You knock that off.
I'm sorry, Grandma.
Yeah, you.
I'm sorry.
0 puns.
You're a nice boy. I like you, but don't push it.
Don't push the button either.
No, don't push the button. Oh, do not push the button. So, but she gives you some information as to where you can take him in for servicing and all that. And she says, "All right, now. Aside from this, is this the only reason? Is this what it takes to have you come out here and visit me?"
No, just the letter.
Hmm. Hmm.
If I may, Grandma, or Naughty, sorry. Naughty, have you ever heard of the King of Dragons?
Oh yeah, Bahamut. Why haven't you heard of him? Everyone's heard of him.
Oh, him.
Yeah. Who else would you be talking about? Unless
Well-
he didn't retire, did he? I haven't seen him in so long.
I just know something. I heard something about the beggar with the 7 canaries, and
Oh, is he still doing that?
apparently he met with the King of Dragons, and the King of Dragons might know something about the Shadow Council.
Oh, those.
I'm trying.
No, that's a trick he likes to do, and he likes to walk around with with little folk, common folk, with the human, with the mortal types. He likes to put on that disguise of his, so that way he can walk around. He likes people. He likes to see what they got to say and what they're thinking about, and so that's the disguise he likes to put on. He doesn't like to put on airs. Some of these guys like to come on down and make a big old show of them showing up, and oh, look at me, I'm a god, I'm walking amongst y'all, and it's like, oh, whatever, you're nothing without all the people that are worshiping you. Just shut up and sit down and get your nose out of my business. But nah, he likes just to walk. He likes to take in the sights, but he likes to do it incognito. So that's his little disguise there is as he likes to walk around like a beggar. So, and do not mess with those canaries. You didn't mess with the canaries, did you?
No,
Oh.
I know. I know. I'm familiar with the canaries. I heard a story about them. But now I'm trying to contact the Shadow Council.
Oh, what are they up to now?
Well, I don't know, but they did something, and I'm trying to find out why they did it.
What did they do?
Well, when I was just a kid, my sister and I lived in this orphanage in the Underdark, and it burned down, and my sister died. And I met this bard, and the bard said that he could get my sister to say what happened. So we went back into the burned out orphanage and we found her body, and he cast a spell, and I asked her what happened, and she said, "May our labors please you." And I've been trying to figure out what that means for the last 15 years. And it seems like the Shadow Council had something to do with my sister's death.
What part of the Underdark was that? First of all, come here. And she like reaches over, she like calls you over, she wants to give you a hug. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is what I'm talking about. They're always sticking their noses in people's business, and they shouldn't. I'm sorry, but what part of the Underdark this happened in?
This was right outside of Menzo Baranzan, the Dark Elves, the Drow City.
It's all orphans, you say?
Yeah. I never knew my parents.
Were they teaching y'all things?
I don't really remember a lot. I remember that's where I learned how to play an instrument.
Well, that an orphanage outside of Menzo Baranzan. Oh dear. Oh, now it's all starting to make sense. Whew, you all have stirred up some shit, haven't you? Oh. Dear, oh dear. Boy, I'm going to tell you this. The Shadow Council, whatever they're calling themselves nowadays, I got to butt heads with them about once a century, and I'm too old to deal with them anymore. What they did was unconscionable. I understand why they did it. They were probably trying to stop something. But I don't think it worked. How much do y'all know about the War of Demonfell?
Can I roll a history check?
You can roll a history check. You could all roll a history check. Should you so desire to. Should you have the dice? Have dice will roll.
I have dice will roll.
Well, that's...
Especially since I'm really good with history. I'm old as shit.
I rolled an 11 total.
Total.
Didn't
Yeah.
we all technically experience portions of this?
You did, so I will allow an advantage on it.
Motion.
Advantage?
That's better. 19 total.
19.
That went very different because my first roll was a 1.
And what was the second roll?
Total of 24.
24.
Nice.
And Thunic Gentle Drunk?
11.
I rolled a rock.
I got a rock.
Got a rock. So Thunic, you remember that there is something called the War of Demonfell. You do know it happened in the Chandlewood. You're pretty sure that's what you guys saw when you did your little time-skipping shenanigans? When you ran into a much younger Marcus Valander, and Drenmai caused some trees to fall down for apparently about 150 years. There was things that happened. Drenmai and Eno, your memory would reveal to you that the War of Demonfell did in fact happen in the Chandlewood, that it was during the initial founding of Pinedale that there was an ongoing war that went from cold to hot between the Seelie and Unseelie courts and some kind of demonic incursion into the Chandlewood. And this lasted for some time, and for a while, Pinedale tried to stay neutral. But after a while,
Sorry, I'm just. It makes me laugh. It's like, well, it's the demon war. Well, we're gonna not side with either side here. One side is literally demons. Yeah, we're just not feeling it. We think that maybe discourse is the best way to solve
War
this.
is bad.
well, more from the
I know,
standpoint. No.
I'm making it over.
No, but no. It would seem that easy, but I would say that because it was just the founding of this community, the concern wasn't so much of, hey, there's this evil thing and we're going to sit this one out. It was like, we don't really have the resources right now to jump into this, because if we do, it is assured destruction. Whereas as long as we maintain the thought was that by staying out of it, that they might ensure the survival of this town for a little bit longer. Whereas eventually they said, someone said, hey, no, demons, fight them, and they did. There was but that's kind of like that's what your memory is of that it was this battle that happened approximately 150 to 200 years ago in the Chondawood, that involved a lot of throwing around of wild magics and arcana and abyssal energies.
That explains my first bad roll, because it was a while ago, so it took me a while to remember it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was actually probably because you weren't there, if I remember. Drenmai was not there at the very founding of Pinedale. It was shortly after that she.
No, I came right after it.
Yeah, that she's like, oh, cool things to make and cool resources to make them. It might, or could we retcon this, and it was that she was like, oh, cool, I get to blow stuff up, but by the time she got there, the war was over.
I'd probably take that. That'd be a good draw for her to be there.
Make things, blow things up. Indiscriminate use of force.
Yeah, will always win out.
But you do know that was kind of like a major portion of that, and that's the part. So when Grandmama Gemweaver asks you that question, what do you know of the War of Demonfell? She you remember your history lessons. However you came across them.
Yeah, I know a few things about the War of Demonfell. What does that have to do with the orphanage?
I'm gonna say you probably. I think of the War of Demonfell as what happened right there in Chondawood area, correct? The actual War of Demonfell has been happening for much, much longer than that. And it involves my girl, I'm sorry I never told you about this. I was hoping that you wouldn't be drawn into it.
Is this what you said, that I had to wait till I was 100 before you would tell? Sorry. That's like the parent thing. Oh, wait till you're older.
Tell me about the war. No, not until you're older. That kind of thing.
Gotta be at least 16 before I show you these things.
Yeah. Uh-oh. We lost. Oh, and she's back. Okay, cool.
I pushed the wrong button.
I pushed a button. See? What did I tell you about the rule of artifice in the corollary to the third rule of artifice, and what happens when there's a button?
Yep.
Don't push it?
They pushed a button.
I pushed it.
Actually, Drenmai, you do remember that there was probably one time where you were wandering through her shop, and you, as a youngster is wont to do, you're opening things and looking around and seeing what was in there. If you've ever played around in if your grandparents ever had a shop, like my granddad had a workshop in his basement. He was actually a really good furniture maker. And the thing you did as a kid is you wanted to be down there because there's all these tools and it was wood and hammers and nails, and you'd open up all the drawers because you wanted to see what he had there. And you remember doing this as a youngin', real youngin', knee-high to a grasshopper, quite literally almost. And you remember coming across, it looked like some curved like butterfly knives with all sorts of arcane sigildry. I'm never sure if it's
Sigilry is right.
sigilry. Thanks.
That was funny.
I mean, it's not, but like that's what we're gonna go with.
It's not. Is it sigildry or is it?
No, it's not sigilry. Sigil is correct, but I don't know
Sigil.
if sigilry is actually a word. But again, it's a great word that you've invented.
Sigilry.
I love it so much.
That was like carved into that, and as like you had reached out to touch them, and there was like a faint spark between your fingers and these blades when you did that. And right as you did that, you remember Grandmama being much young and much more spry version of herself from what she is now. Quick pulled you away and slammed it shut. And you were, Grandmama, what are those? She goes, not until you're older, girl. And so you know that there was something in her past that had come up. There was things that were never talked about during family dinners and family gatherings. Sometimes like a subject would get brought up and everyone would get like real quiet and all right, we're going to steer the conversation another way. And she says to you, yeah, this is one of my old enemies, probably my oldest enemy. And she is probably trying to get back out. I thought they could finally get her sealed away, but I guess she is trying one more time to get back out. And that is just, it cannot happen. It cannot happen. Well, y'all might as well set a spell, because this is going to take a second to tell you about this.
Find the biggest, fluffiest, like beanbag looking thing.
There's probably like a pile of sawdust you could like
just plop in it. You only see like this part of the run.
It's the listening pile.
Uh-huh.
And she says, once upon a time, there was an angel. And this angel just wanted to help everybody. Wanted to make sure everybody was happy. But she started to see that people just couldn't be happy. That they always did things that would make themselves unhappy. But that didn't bother her as much as the things that happened to them. And try as she might, she tried everything. Try as she might, she just couldn't make everybody happy. And over time, over a long period of time, this changed her. It changed her perspective. It changed the way she thought, the way she saw the world. And it slowly twisted her, seeing all this unhappiness, all this pain and misery. And that's all she could see. She could no longer see all the beauty there was in the world. All she could see was the bad. She couldn't see that despite there being bad things, there were good things and good people, and there was beauty to be had in this world. But she couldn't see it. All she could see was the pain and the misery, and she still had this yearning to get rid of it. But that yearning twisted her, and it changed her, and her methods changed. And slowly she fell. And she eventually reached the only conclusion that she thought she could reach, which was the only way to end suffering was to end everything. Just the sublime silence of annihilation. And so she started to raise an army, and she went to the only allies that she could find. And she tore a hole into the abyss and started pulling out demon of all sort and type. Now this happened long time ago when she started doing this. And we were able to stop her. We were able to seal up the hole. We were able to get control of things as best we could, and we thought we had her sealed up in prison. There was no way to really destroy her. We couldn't find a way, but we got her sealed up, and we sealed her up in the Shadowfell. We sealed her up in her own personal domain of dread because the Lords of Dread said they could hold her. They've been holding Strahd for as long as they have. They've been holding so many. It seemed like, all right, we can do this. We can keep control. But unfortunately, when she started this, it awoke something. I don't know what, but it awoke something. It got something's attention. And every couple hundred years, she's able to reach out and just touch the world just a little bit. And something happened. And I'm not sure what happened, but something happened. And about 150, 200 years ago, you were just right before you got to Pinedale. Something happened, and she was able to almost break free again. And we were able to put her back in the prison, but at this time it was at quite the cost. Some good people, some really good people, gave their lives, gave their souls in order to keep her sealed up. But I guess it wasn't enough, and she's coming back, it seems like. Haven't you all sensed a darkness? Something that isn't just quite right?
Sometimes, but usually when that happens, I just sort of burp or something, and that takes.
That's a digestion.
Listen, boy. I mean, that is not. I understand that darkness. You got to get that evil out of you. I understand that, but something deeper in your bones. I know it might be tough, especially for you. When she points to you, like right now, to make that connection, just because of where we are, But I think that's where it's all tied. I think that they were. She points to you, and she goes, I think someone was probably grooming you. Or someone trying to figure out a way to crack open that prison. Based on where you say that's happened and what they were doing and all that, it sounds like, I can't quite remember what. It sounds like a ritual I might have heard of at some point, but it sounds like they were trying to burning that place down, as reprehensible as that was. They were trying. I think they thought they were doing a greater good, but I don't know.
Well, Naughty. When we were in the monastery, we ran into an entity known as the librarian, and she.
Oh, how is Essie May?
She seems to be sort of stuck in the library. There's a ward that's keeping her there.
Oh, yeah, that ward needs to be there. She is a troublemaker.
Yeah. Well, she sort of made, I guess we made a deal with her or something, and she sent us to the Shadowfell, and I think maybe was it the same entity? Were we being pulled to the same entity that's imprisoned there? We were told it was the Raven Queen.
No, she's fine. She's got issues. Don't get me wrong. That girl's got issues. She made some bad choices with the people she was associating with, and this it's a whole story. I won't even bother with you that now, but it is possible. You see, this fallen angel, this demon, she has a way of corrupting, much the way that her own sense of good and well-being and good intentions were corrupted by her own concrete logic, by her own inability to be flexible about the world. She has that same effect on people, and she's able to create situations. She's able to make it so people start thinking a little different and corrupting their way of thought and their way of being, and people who would normally be doing good things for good reasons start to have that get twisted on them. So it's entirely possible. It is entirely possible but I'm too old to fight her again. I can't go another round with her again. But I mean, if I can't tell you or ask you to take on something like this, but if you decide you're going to, you're gonna need allies, and you're gonna need power. You're gonna need to figure out a way to take down and seal her up again, and that's not gonna be easy. But you're gonna need help.
So, did she perhaps corrupt the Shadow Council, and then maybe that's why they burned the orphanage down for some reason?
Well,
or do I need to ask the King of Dragons?
I think that would be your best bet, because
Okay.
the Shadow Council, every now and again, they rear up their head, and there's always a Shadow Council somewhere or another, and this one, yeah, every now and again they decide they've aligned themselves supposedly to keep the prison sealed, but sometimes they take some actions unilaterally, and they often take actions that undercut each other. Because I doubt very much that old Muddy would actually bother to allow that to happen. He wouldn't condone that kind of action. He's not that kind of person. He's good people, one of the few. But it wouldn't surprise me if there's others on the council that would have thought that would have been an acceptable action in order to, save existence. Probably worth asking him, though.
Where might I find old Muddy?
Well, don't you go calling that. He might be a little upset with you about calling that. You got it.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of it. I just...
Listen, he's a nice guy, but he is still a god. He needs certain propriety. He needs to be maintained.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say you just got to find one of his temples and ask him. That'd probably be your best bet. There's probably... Where are y'all heading next after this? Because I know y'all aren't staying here.
We need to go to Waterdeep next, don't we?
Yeah, I think we were planning to go to Waterdeep after this.
Oh, I have no doubt you'll be able to find a...
Gotta be something in Waterdeep.
Oh, absolutely. There's gonna be a temple to Bahamut somewhere in Waterdeep. You'll be able to find someone there who'll be able to make some intercessions on your behalf, and maybe you can get his attention, ask him a few questions. Now, know this: he's not gonna probably interfere direct, because that's just not his way.
Oh yeah.
That's just he's trying to. Well, that's for him. But that'd be your best bet. Just ask him.
Thank you, Naughty. I appreciate your time.
You're a sweet boy. You're a sweet boy.
He gets out his lute and he starts playing a little song for her.
Oh, music! I love music.
It interacts negatively with a certain harmonics generator on the floor above us.
And we all die.
I'm kidding.
All of the Bipki Bopkas go boom.
All the gnomes explode.
Well, those were the pastry gnomes. We don't mind them. They're just
The pastry gnomes.
They weren't real. They were just made of dough. It's all right. They were just dough golems. Don't even worry about them. They just look like...
It might be because I was playing in the key of Genome.
Okay.
No.
Whatever.
No.
Okay.
Crimes.
No.
Stretch.
Crimes.
Maybe.
Crimes. We're gonna shift the scene momentarily, though, as starts plucking away a little tune as you start digesting this information that Grandmama Gemweaver has just laid on you. Just laid on you. And we're gonna shift scenes over now to a seedy, beer-soaked speakeasy in another part of the district, wherein it's just bare brick, and not even nice brick. This isn't even like a hipster brick walls. This is just like, it is a basement where it's just like
somebody built a bar in a tenement apartment.
Basically, yeah, it is, and it's not. It's just where people have come to congregate, and it smells, and it stinkies, and it smells of sweat and blood, and urine and beer and whiskey, and just, it's just, this is, we're it smells like a carpet in a frat house. Basically, it's not a. But the people there are just it's raucous.
Mhm.
It is a raucous, muddy, just situation, dirty situation of people who are just like loving that moment, living in the very, very moment. And we find a Hugon Valander with his flesh mask, sitting at a table in the corner with an enormous minotaur, just muscles upon muscles upon muscles, battle scars, all up and down the arm and the back and everything, and just and you've been you had bought him some drinks, and so he's you've had a couple drinks with him, and he goes, "So you want to start a revolution, do you?"
Hells no. No. Revolutions are fun, don't get me wrong. They're an enjoyable pastime. What I want is very specific, and it is the following. I need access to a method, either arcane or divine, to unmake this. And he holds out the bracer that he got from the Red Knight.
Okay.
Utterly unmake it.
Mm.
Like, to rend this at a molecular level from itself. So I know of a few ways to do that. I just don't have access to them right now, and that is really what I need. And as a purveyor of all things chaos, I suspect that such methodologies are in your wheelhouse. Not necessarily your specific wheelhouse, but your organization's. I use that term loosely. To call the Chaos Attack a organization would probably be somewhat of an insult.
He says, well, I'm more of the chaos causing sort. I just more like
And that's fair.
that.
And and we appreciate the work that you do.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I take pride in the work that I do. Tearing down the aristocracy and tearing down the pillars of civilization is hard work. It's not to it, really. If you get right down to it.
Is.
Oh. What you want is one of our spell tosses. Is what you want. Because all I can do is I can hit things real hard. And most of me mates in here can hit things really hard. And if that's what you need, that's what we can get.
And that time may come.
Yeah.
And the sigil is going to be the first place I look.
Do right.
So, why don't we accelerate things a little bit?
Right.
And put us on the right course toward one of your spell casters or spell tossers.
Yeah.
That would be ideal.
Right.
Preferably, I don't think it would be right to go straight to the top. Maybe we start somewhere toward the middle so we don't piss anybody off.
Right.
Because, the last thing that we want is misunderstandings.
Is that really what we don't want?
We want misunderstandings to occur between the correct parties. Even in chaos, there's a proper way to do things.
So you want the right people to fight the right people, is what you want.
I want the right people to fight the right people.
All right.
And I want them to keep fighting. I want them to fight forever.
Who are these people that need to fight forever? Sounds wonderful, actually.
It does sound wonderful, and that's why I'm working so hard to make it happen.
Ah. Well, depending on who you want to fight, and who they're supposed to fight, will likely determine the kind of speller that we want to go to.
Well, the plane that we're fighting on, for now, is Abertoro.
Okay.
So that's... Some would call that the prime material in a fit of arrogance, I imagine. But Abertorial, Faerun, whatever you're going to call it, that's where the fight is going to start.
Right.
And I suspect that it's going to grow and grow, as a good fight should. And hopefully one day touch all planes. But it's going to start there. So why don't we focus on the spell tosser? That would be best suited for that.
Okay. Well, that's where they're gonna fight, but who's fighting?
Everybody who likes a fight and everybody who would like the fight to end.
Well, that's just about everyone now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. What we are dealing with is a cosmic act of trickery.
Mm-hmm.
A god on that plane wants to end war forever. And we just can't have that.
What's taking
That's-
white people's rights to their free actions? You can't have that.
It is exactly correct. And also consider that if they can do it there, they can do it anywhere. So this is one of those scenarios where it has to be stopped immediately at the source. And this, and he gestures and holds the bracer again, is the first piece of the puzzle.
Well, I think I know just the person for that kind of job.
Now, before we go anywhere,
Right.
is that person an exceptionally old and shriveled gnome?
No, I don't think he is.
Okay, then we can continue. Because I admit freely, I was going to be so disappointed if I ended up back in her company. I might have had to skin you.
You might have had to try.
Oh, believe me, nothing would please me more. But let's continue, because that's not going to happen.
You're right.
I would like to roll just a small intimidation check that this is not bluster. I would if I found my dice. There it is. That's a 21.
He's not intimidated.
It's not so much an intimidating, it's just trying to get the point across. That, like, listen, you and I are coming from the same wavelength here. There's not really a whole lot of idle threats passing between.
No, with that, you're more thinking it would be more like mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, and that can be fun too.
in the proper context, in the
There's
proper arena.
times for that, but not right now.
But not at this moment. He's
Not
like,
right now.
I think the one you're looking for. I think you need Zent.
Okay.
Zent the Unwise.
I can appreciate that.
He would be the one to start. Yeah. He's good at blowing things up and unraveling things.
Okay.
I think he'd be the right one. Hey, where you guys seen Zent? I haven't seen. Where's Zent? Oh, he's on holiday over at Waterdeep. He's in Waterdeep. You know where that is?
Yes.
All right, you gotta go there. Listen, you'll get there, and you're about to ask me, where in Waterdeep am I gonna find a wizard named Zent the Unwise? Right? First things first. He ain't never gonna go to any of them poshy places where all the stuck-up nobles and aristocrats are gonna be. You'll never find him there, so you can just eliminate that. Right? Second, he's always drunk. So wherever you find the greatest concentrations of bars, taverns, speakeasies, and other areas of ill repute is likely where you'll find him. Third, look for fire. He cannot help but light shit on fire wherever he goes. That's pretty much it.
And just just so that we're clear on things. Zent is fairly powerful. Would you say that that's true?
Have you ever heard of the city of Cluthmore?
I suspect that I haven't, and that's a good sign.
Right. 'Cause it ain't there no more.
I'm glad.
You might regret that one. Maybe. But you want someone who could destroy something that was made by a god, that's what you need.
Good.
City level and power. But yeah, that would be your best bet.
Well, I guess we're gonna go have a conversation with.
Well, hang on, you gotta be careful though, 'cause he could spook easy.
Oh.
And you don't
Okay.
want him to spook easy.
No, I
Because
suspect
you don't
you're
want
correct.
to. You don't want to repeat, right?
No.
So, as one of like a random reveler is walking by, he like grabs him by the scruff of the neck, and he like holds him over. He like roots around in one of his pockets. He finds a piece of paper, and he like slams this kind of like this guy's face into the table, and it bam, and just then gets all the blood from his nose on his face, and then puts his massive paw print on this piece of paper, and gets it on there really good. Thanks, needed that. And he does that.
Pitches him away.
He dries it off there. He goes, show him this. That'll keep him from spoken. At least that'll get you the introduction. After that, it's on you.
Well, that's all I can ask for. So I appreciate your assistance in keeping the chaos rolling.
Right. Well, that's what we do.
Yep. And again, if I need your particular skill set, Siggle's going to be the very first place that I look. Trust me.
Sounds like a plan.
And Hugon takes the paper, folds it very neatly, puts it in a pocket, and then proceeds to leave.
Yes. And I think that's a good place for us to take our break. It being 11:30 Eastern. Break time.
Break time.
So, we will be right back with more Team X. So, everybody, stick around. Hang on.
Blah, 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 blah. You just got old. Got old. Got old. You just got boned.
And we are back.
Yeah.
And we were just discussing how we're going to do a rogue barbarian only game at some point.
I really want to be a rogue barbarian at some point.
Actually, it'd be kind of fun just to have a game of nothing but just the barbarian horde. All right, what do we do? Smash it.
Barbarian of some sort?
Huh?
Each of us playing a variant barbarian of some sort?
A deviant barbarian.
Gross.
I'm just thinking of like trying to play a barbarian as like a silent character, and it's really funny to me.
Well, technically, Conan was a rogue.
Conan was a rogue. Yes, this is true.
He was not the.
He was a high strength, high ant rogue.
Anyways, but that's not what we are here for right now. We are here to continue the adventure that we started playing oh so many years ago with Team X. So where we had left things was that Hugon had made a deal with some minotaur and a seedy speakeasy about finding a wizard named, or magic user named Zent the Unwise, in an effort to destroy the gift that he was given by the Red Lady and create a perpetual war that would eventually take over the entire multiverse forever. And on another part of Sigil, Drenmai, Thunic, and Eno were getting some information from Grandmama Gemweaver, otherwise known as Naughty to Eno because he's a sweet boy, and learning about an old enemy of Grandmama Gemweaver. And that is where we lay our scene. I know Hugon had left the speakeasy, and Eno had been playing a little song.
Oh yes, I should know. I apologize.
Yes.
We cut the break. Hugon goes and immediately sets about finding a portal to Waterdeep. Like, that's where he needs to go, so that's where he's going to try to go. So just keep that in mind.
Okay. He's just like randomly opening doors. No, that's not what I mean. No, that's not what
No, I mean, he's going to probably be a little bit more intelligent about it.
So, okay, well, we'll come back to that as Hugon's searching for a way to get to Waterdeep as expediently as possible. The folks that are at Gemweaver's Goods and Sundries, what is the dealio? What is the plan? What is the decision to be made here?
Well, we know where we want to go. We just have a lost Hugon. So
How, Naughty Dren, how do we find the Machine Imperium?
That's the map I gave y'all.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I'm sorry. So we have a map to get there? Are they in Waterdeep?
Oh no.
Oh, they're in.
They're east of the Chanawood there.
Oh, okay. So we'll have to go there after we go to Waterdeep, I guess.
Yeah, I think he should be fine for right now. I think
Okay.
I think we can I might be able to disable a portion of the operating system like temporarily, kind of like air gap him a little bit, so that way you don't have to worry about any kind of like misfires or anything like that. Because otherwise it could be now listen, I know my little Drenny likes her chaos. The chaos is fine, but when it's controlled, not just when it could just randomly go off and in inopportune times. So if you want, I could try to put a little patch. I can put a little patch on there to make sure that he won't accidentally go off until you get him to get his to get serviced.
Well, I think he should make that decision. I
would very much not like to go off.
Okay. That sounds reasonable. How are you feeling over there, Alexi?
Very observed right now.
Yeah, I've been trying not to look. I've been trying not to look.
Well, I've already seen everything there is to be seen. It's a bit confusing. I don't feel metal.
Yeah, it's
Is this
pretty
going to
heavy.
is this going to interfere with my love life?
I mean, hasn't it already?
To be honest, I haven't tried.
See,
Ugh. Yes, please patch me up so that way we can get to the manufacturer as soon as humanly possible.
yeah, I hope Drenmai didn't void your warranty.
Did she take him apart at some point?
She messed around with him a little bit.
I poked and prodded, remember?
Yeah,
I didn't do too much.
she hit him and he took off. That's
Oh
one
no
thing
no!
that
But she didn't
happened.
like.
I didn't disassemble Johnny number 5.
Yeah, she didn't like open any like key parts that would like be like nope, not warranty anymore. She just tested. She was doing more like product testing. That's different.
QA.
Yeah, exactly. You got to see what the capabilities are. So she like rummages around and some of her, she crawls down, hops down off of her stool, walks over, all hunched and everything, and gnarled knuckles and fingers, and she's going through her some of her toolboxes, and she finds the part that she's looking for, and it's like a long, thin, another screwdriver looking thing, but like a long, thin, almost spike. And she like goes over to Alexi and she goes, "Now hold still." It's gonna pinch for a second, and before he could say anything, she like just jams this thing like up his nose, like she like holds the head down, up the nose, and here, and there's like a ratcheting sound, and then out, and she's like, "All right, that'll keep you going for, I don't know, a week to a month. It's kind of hard to say. It depends on the mileage, depends on whether it's city miles or country miles, or there's a lot of variables happening in there. So don't run it. Don't run them too hard. Don't overclock them or anything like that. Just leave them be, and then it should be fine. And until you get over there, and they can hopefully make sure he doesn't do nothing that he shouldn't be doing when he shouldn't be doing it. I think.
Well, thank you once again, Nadia. I appreciate your candor.
I appreciate the company. It's nice to see people every now and again. And she gives Drenmai a meaningful look.
Biggest teenager eye roll.
All right, now.
Ugh.
God, Grandma. And
Mhm.
she's like, "All right, well, get over here. Give us a squatch. Get over here." And she like,
Do the grandma snuggle.
yes, and then and she like does the same
Can I
thing.
have cookies?
Oh, yeah, you can have some cookies on the way out. Of course, you can have some cookies on the way out. And
Do you happen to have any Underdark mushrooms?
So that I can get really, really high.
No. It was for beer.
dried or fresh?
I guess dried might work because I think we were gonna try and brew a beer out of him.
Right. Okay, I understand. Yeah. Follow me. And she takes you takes you back through the workshops and walks you up the steps. She goes past the first floor now, and she goes onto the second floor, past that third floor, up this old rickety, musty staircase. Almost, for her, it's the right size. I mean, it's a little bit big for her, but for you, it's kind of small. Thunic, it's kind of like, these are like smaller even than normal human steps. So it's kind of like, and it's a real tight fit. Like as you're going through like this hallway, you're like really like not wedged in there, but you're definitely trying to like get your way through. And she takes you up to the third floor, and you enter into there's like a door. You go through the door closes, there's a second door, so it's almost like a little vestibule area. And she she hands all of you like heavy gloves to put on. There's some that are human sized. Thunik, she like looks at you. She's like, "Well, I don't get any that's gonna fit y'all, but just don't touch nothing. All right." And you walk in, and here it's this very dimly lit room with only like these purplish orbs that are giving just barely enough light to see, and you can see the walkways there. And it's like rows of these growing raised beds, and it's a very very musty, composty smell when you walk in. It's a very earthy. It smells of fresh tilled earth after a rainstorm. It's very moist in this room. You could almost it's almost like the earth and the mustiness almost coats your mouth as soon as you walk in, and you can see it's just rows upon rows upon rows of these raised beds with mushrooms growing in all of them of various size and colors and shapes and varieties.
And there's a marijuana plant here.
There are a few plants that are growing of that are a little bit.
Because why not? It's a dank environment. Might as well up the ante.
This is the dankest environment, and she takes you to the other end of the room there, and there's like little glass jars about the size of a baby food jar, and you can see she looks and she goes, "What kind of Underdark mushrooms?" We got the it depends. What did you want it grown in? What was the medium it was grown in? What was the varietal?
I don't.
What kind of? Well,
I don't know. What do you think would be good to brew a beer out of?
That depends. What kind of tipsy are you trying to get?
Not out of control.
Okay, so you're looking for something on the mellow side.
Yeah.
On the mellow side there. And are you looking to have more like a chill, relaxed experience and more of like a mind-opening experience?
Like Into Couch.
Into Couch. Okay. I think I understand. So it's not sativas over here. No, not those. It's gonna be okay.
Into Couch.
Into Couch. Okay. All right. Oh, I got a nice varietal for you. All right. And she rummages around a little bit, and she finds a jar, and it's all like the little dried, these little tiny mushrooms that are maybe like an inch tall, that are shriveled and dried up and everything, and you could see they're a deep dark like coffee brown color, but underneath it's the is it the gills, I guess? Is that what they're called? The on the underneath part, the gills. I'm sure a drunk phytologist would be able to tell me exactly what this is. But the gill portion is like a slight bluish tinge, and you think there might be the ever so slight blue glow that might just be a trick of your eyes, maybe from inhaling something in the room. You don't know, but she gives you a little baby jar of these, and she goes, "With this, what do you think? Is this enough? How much? I mean, a little bit goes a long way."
Yeah, that's enough. And then he turns to Dren. He says, "Dren, I remember now. The hot sauce. The hot sauce wasn't that also an Underdark thing? We needed an ingredient for the hot sauce."
God, what was it though? I'm trying, out of character. I'm trying to remember what we needed.
That wasn't an Underdark mushroom, was it?
I
remember out of character. I remember out of mushrooms. I'm thinking that was for the brewing beer, but there was also like a special ingredient.
Yeah, there was a special ingredient
for the hot sauce from the monastery that we used, and I'm trying to remember if that was an Underdark thing or not. Or was it that was a pepper, right?
It was
Oh
a
yeah, it was a
pepper.
pepper.
That was a
Yeah.
pepper. That wasn't a mushroom. Okay.
Yeah, it was an ice
I'm
pepper.
just-
That's what it was.
It was an ice pepper.
Ice pepper. All right.
Yeah. When you guys first made your trip to the Monastery of Shadow and Thunuk and Drenmai were making food for everybody, the stew is made a little spicy.
Well, no, this is the one where we were invisible in the kitchen.
Oh
making-
right.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
were doing some bullshit.
Yeah. And there was some sauce that was made. Yes, it was an ice pepper. I do remember
Okay.
this one. And you remember it was a pepper that was like very long, very thin, like a lot of like Asian hot, like Vietnamese hot peppers, but it was like a whitish blue, like when you look at a frozen lake that's like, or when you see like those ice caves that are like super super thick, like bulletproof hard ice.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was like the color of this thing where it was like white, but it
Okay.
had like this inner blue sheen to it, and that was the pepper that was used. That I remember. That.
Okay. So.
Food. I remember.
Nadi, do you have any ice peppers?
No, I'm sorry. We don't have much call for them. You can only really grow them in super cold environments. And that's not really conducive to what we got going on here. So you might need to. But if you're heading to Waterdeep, I have no doubt you'll be able to find someone that's a little bit closer to. You'll be able to find someone, I'm sure, it's selling them there.
This room really reminds me of home. It's really amazing.
We call this the mushroom.
As you should.
Fucking did it. God damn it.
And she says, well, first one's a gift. If you need more of that, let me know. I can.
Okay.
We can,
well,
we
I
can
think
make an arrangement here if you need more. If it turns out that this is gonna brew the way that you expect it to brew, then I'm sure we can work something out.
awesome. I think Dren knows how to get back here now, right? Right, Dren?
Oh yeah, we've got like the line, Grandma. I'm gonna visit you all the time now.
Oh,
Yay!
Well, maybe we could set up some kind of business arrangement. I'm sure we can. Could always use another line of distribution. Yeah. Well, let me know how that goes over. If that goes over well, we could talk about setting something up here. I think we better make something work now. Now that my great granddaughter will finally be able to come visit me and see me a little more often.
Yeah, there's this bar in I think it was El Boulder, right? There's a bar in El Boulder that really needs better beer, and I'm trying to hook them up.
They got
Also
a bar
got a
there
musical
now?
stool.
Yes, a musical stool. There is a musical stool. I will say in this space, Thunuk, it's probably the first time since you arrived in Sigil that like you haven't felt like utter and abject panic from there not being anything resembling a sky.
He's surrounded by mushrooms, right?
Yes, it's earth and mushrooms, and it's the first time that you've seen something that is actually growing that was not made of some kind of weird shadow material that was a plant that might have tried to kill you at some point. Can't hear you.
Rooms that
Cannot hear you.
can't hear me.
Now we can hear you.
No.
It was very quiet.
Oh,
Still very quiet.
how
Like
about
it's
now?
connected to the
There
wrong
you
mic.
go.
There we go.
It's better.
Apparently, Discord decided to turn on noise suppression, and I am noise.
And you have been suppressed.
That explains why none of you have been reacting to anything I've been saying.
Hey, yeah, we've just been fucking ignoring you like a bunch of assholes. Yvonne, when have we ever done that?
Never. I just figured you were all talking. No, yeah, this is like one of those calm rooms that they have at like schools for kids who are like you're having a total freak out moment hanging out in this room. This is where you calm
Yeah.
down. For him anyway. And he's starting to have his wits about him. Feeling a little bit better, and that's it. Yeah. That's
Okay.
all I got.
She's like, all right, well, you all best get. You got a lot to do. You got a lot to think about.
We gotta go find our resident asshole.
Well, aside from that, if you remember what I told you about, remember I told you about her. And if y'all aren't gonna do anything about it, I'm not saying you have to, but someone should. So make sure you bring it up to someone who could deal with it. I'm too old. I can't do it again.
You've done so much for us. Is there anything that we can get for you in Waterdeep or do for you there, or do you need anything?
Soda?
Soda, a Diet Coke. She goes, no, I got everything I need right here. But just come visit.
Okay.
Just come visit. Make sure y'all come visit.
We will.
Yeah. I mean, Big Boy there is invited too, but he doesn't seem too comfortable most of the time here.
You don't have
we-
the sky.
Well,
We can-
There's no top. There's no top layer here.
Maybe we can get him something like some goggles or something that maybe where he can see some sky.
I think maybe that'd be some VR.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Arcane AR system going on there.
She's like, well,
Arcane
I
reality.
mean, I think that might be a fun project for Drenmai to try to figure out. I'm gonna give you some homework. You got to figure something like that out.
Some AR goggles.
Something like that. Something to make your friend here not freak out when he sees that there's no sky. My lord, don't ever take him to the Underdark then. Jesus, that will not work.
But then you're surrounded by nature.
Yeah,
Yeah, but there's no sky down there.
the sky and that nature is fucked up.
Certainly is.
But there's
And Grandmama does drop the F-bomb at that point because, she's old and she can do that. What are you going to do about it? But she comes over and she gives, she comes over and gives Drenmai another hug, does the kiss on the cheek. And she does the same thing for you. She comes over and she's like, you got to lean down and everything. And she's like, all right, you too, big boy. Come here. Give us a kiss. Come on, get some sugar. Come on. Get down here. And she does that, and she gives like a little kiss in the cheek there, and she like pats your hand and like pats your nose a little bit. She's like, "It'll be all right. It'll be all right. You'll be home soon. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You don't need a sky to have up."
Yeah, but how does the rest of your town not fall on itself? It's right there. It's always falling.
Well, it's actually the function of a singular. Nah, never mind. You won't understand it. The stuff that pulls you down is everywhere. Does that make sense? Why don't you fall off the ground when you're at home?
But wouldn't you
Oh,
go
why?
sideways if it's everywhere?
Why don't you fall off the ground when you're at home? Something's holding you there, right?
Yeah, no.
It's going to keep you up for a few nights, but that's okay. You'll figure it out. It'll be all right.
Physics.
You don't need a sky for there to be an up. Up is relative.
I'm not related to Up, but okay.
Oh, he's a simple one, isn't he? All right. So
Her.
Yeah, Hugo's not here, but he's hurting somewhere.
the flesh mask just pulses.
Everyone here thinks that Thunux is being dumb, but it's like in his mind, it's like, I remember meeting an Up, don't I? We're not related, are we? Am I related to Up?
Yeah, Up's
But there's no actual Up. It's just like she said relative, therefore Up is a person, and therefore it's like, have I met Up? Are we related? No.
And she like, all right, you all best get now. I got to get back to work now, but y'all come back now. You hear? And she sort of shuffles you out the door. And,
Now go away.
and she makes sure you
Of my
she
shop.
makes sure you all get a small little like a little thing of cookies, road cookies.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Some probably shortbread cookies, maybe sugar cookies. I don't know, something like that. Snickerdoodles.
Cookies that don't taste like anything, because Snickerdoodle is the worst cookie.
Now,
I
that's-
can't wait for November to get here.
We're not.
That's a
gonna,
debate for another time.
But Shuffles you out the door.
Because
Yeah.
how dare you?
Because how dare you, sir? How dare you, sir?
They are.
And as you come walking out the door, you see Hugon Valander standing in the middle of like the flow of people as they were walking around. He's like scanning, but you're only seeing him from behind. You see like the familiar shoulders and all that, and you can see, and he seems like he's looking very carefully at the buildings across the street.
Hugon. I'm talking into the bracer. Hugon.
You actually hear the bracer go off, but Hugon makes no move whatsoever to answer it.
Dren, he's doing the thing.
He's ignoring us. Shocker. Let's see. I'm seeing if I have like a locate spell or anything.
Well, no, you see him right in front of you. You see, as you walk
he's
out.
there.
Oh,
you see-
we physically see
Yeah,
him?
yeah, because you've probably assumed your position, right? You've assumed.
Oh,
your...
then I throw a cookie at him.
Wait, would Drenmai really waste good grandmama cookies by throwing?
Yeah, I don't
them?
know.
I'd find the worst, like, burnt one.
So the Snicker.
Oh, there are no burned cookies from Grandmama's kitchen. How dare you? How dare you?
I'd probably take a bite out of one and then sacrifice the rest.
All
And then
right.
throw it at him.
So, dexterity attack for no damage, just to see if you actually can.
You hit a demon in the face, and then it's just like, what the fuck was that?
Oh, you might get your wish. That's gonna be a 4 for total.
Yeah, it doesn't come anywhere near. It it's like where you just whiff it. It just like hit, your shoulder mechanics were wrong. It just comes out of your hand at the wrong moment, and it like goes wide right and short, and before you can even think to do anything else, it's now crushed into crumbs into the street as people are just walking by. You hear some.
Dren,
Ow! Hey!
that was what are you throwing cookies away for? What?
I'm trying to get his attention because he's ignoring us again.
I cast Mage Hand.
Mhm.
How far away is he right now?
20 feet.
Okay, I cast Mage Hand,
Mm-hmm.
and I direct it to go over and tap Hugon on the shoulder.
Hugon turns around, and you see that his face is covered by what appears to be a muscly, partially hardened red and black carapace, for lack of a better word.
I'm envisioning. Tell me if I'm on the right track here, and if I'm not, it's fine. I'm envisioning kind of like a slightly burned up face hugger with eye holes.
No, well, I mean, it's not incorrect. It's definitely fleshy, and it's definitely
Ugh.
it has a grabby aspect, but it's not like it doesn't have an anatomy.
Yeah. Okay.
It just is. Actually, are you familiar with the anime Guyver?
Oh,
Not for
Nice
a
reference.
very long time. But
A
there's the
little
internet.
bit like that, where it's definitely got a carapace-like aspect, but it's definitely biological and organic and fleshy.
Okay.
imagine if you were wearing a gas mask and had grown you
A
had
living
grown the
gas
mask,
Yeah,
and that's what you're wearing.
Okay.
sort of,
Yeah.
minus the
The gas maskiness.
the knobby parts.
Right.
Um,
Got it.
it definitely appears to be like alive.
Okay.
What?
Are you Hugon?
Have I ever not been Hugon?
Okay, because
Are we? Wait, hold on. I don't have time for philosophy right now.
no, this is. But you've got a different.
You got a new mask.
I did?
Touch it.
No, absolutely not.
configuration on your face. And...
I mean, yes, and you have horns and different skin color, and I don't think it's fair to call me out.
I'm not calling you out. I'm just.
I feel called out.
What happened? Did something happen?
Can
No.
I insight to see if Hugon's more irritable because of the mask?
Sure.
I want to see if this changed anything. I blomped. So.
Oh shit!
23. I know everything about Hugon.
I win Dungeons and Dragons.
I think that you are full of shit.
So I will allow at a 20. I will allow Hugon to describe what Dren might be able to insight out of this in terms of irritability or other personality changes based on the baseline that we know of Hugon and now.
It would be more accurate to say that he is more energetic.
More energetic.
Is it like Hugon at 11?
Not necessarily at 11. It's more that your familiarity with Hugon is a constantly beleaguered, very spiritually exhausted with everything and everyone around him, especially you. And in particular, at times, Thanuk. He seems
okay.
like he seems recharged, as it were.
Okay.
Not necessarily behaving any different than what you would expect of him. Just that it took him less time to get to from like his baseline to get to where he is like right now. It was much quicker, like a new engine.
Okay. And also, were we in Grandma Gem Weaver's house long enough for that to be considered like a short rest by any chance?
Yeah, I would say that based on the fact that you were there, I think even if you were there for shorter than the required time based on the rule book, just because you had tea and cookies from Grandmama Gem Weaver, I think that would automatically constitute a short rest.
All grandma things have healing.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's the natural healing properties of
Grandma proximity.
Grandma. Well, it's a combination, right?
Funerals work?
No. Funerals?
I was making a kill Grandma Gem Weaver joke.
Don't do that. No.
Oh.
But
Oh,
no,
my grandma.
but it's it's the combination. It's grandma's great, but if you could have the trifecta of grandma in grandma's house where it smells like grandma in grandma's house, and then you get grandma's cooking, provided grandma can cook.
It's a trifecta.
Yeah,
I think we all had very different grandmas.
Everyone does.
True.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying
Yeah,
more.
my-
I guess what
If you were going
Yeah.
to stereotype a grandma, this would be
like if you needed a
positive
prototype. If you
stereotype,
needed
not like a German fairy tale stereotype.
yeah,
Okay.
if you need a prototype of good grandma, this would be the way.
Think like Miss. Oh wait, no,
It's like the grandma
like
you
Mrs.
never
Claus.
had.
Yeah.
like a little bit of Mrs. Claus action.
Yeah, I think that would be an adequate. That's like the grandma that if you had a
Does that-
bad one,
does that
this is
one
the one you
land?
want. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Hugon. I didn't mean to assume that something was wrong with you, but it's just that that's a different thing, and I was.
That's
He's saying you
fair.
look weird.
I fear
I'm-
change.
And you're a tiny, shriveled ass crack of a gnome, so like, you also look weird. I feel like
Yeah.
y'all are on my case, and you need to stop.
No. I mean, I'm not. I'm
Oh, I
not
am.
on your case.
Eno's 100% trying to de-escalate. I'm trying to escalate.
We.
His ire swivels from, just like a cone swivels onto Drenmai.
10-foot cone of ire.
Says we need to get to Waterdeep.
Quit speaking French.
And then like he
Want a
goes
cookie?
straight and so he goes,
What's
"We do
French?
need to go Waterdeep." Fantastic idea. That's the
Yeah.
first reasonable thing y'all have said since we arrived. Now, why don't we go do that?
Okay.
All right.
This is
Only
your
if you say
domain.
Please.
Survival checks from everyone, please, so we can see if someone's able to determine whether they survive. No, whether they see if.
Excellent.
Oh, nice.
Lucky 13.
24 total.
24.
15.
15.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ah.
That was a nega blomp.
Oh.
What's a negative blomp?
A one.
Anti-
Nega
blomp.
blomp. That's a 1.
That's a 1.
Oh,
I
I'm not
need
even
it.
going to bother with bardic inspiration on that then.
Yeah, no,
It's a
You're not
That's
even
not
worthy
bonus
of
block.
the inspiration.
It's not going to help.
so we find ourselves in the City of Doors. And the idea, if we can get a little meta for a second here, is that a door is a portal from one
Yes.
thing to another. That is just what a door is. And the idea of the City of Doors is that if something is something, it is that thing. It is a portal. Now, most of the time, you open a door and it's a door from one room to another, or from outside into inside. So all you're basically doing is just reassigning what that's a door to.
Janus would have a killer time here.
Who would?
Janus,
Yeah.
the
Two-headed,
Roman god
the
of
two-faced
doors,
god.
portals, and
Ah,
contracts.
yeah. So it was, the idea is that every door can be what you need it to be, a door. You just need to figure out a way to get it to be the door to what you want it to be. So this, Hugon and Eno, as you're both looking around and taking in how you might do this, because you're seeing it's time where people are like walking in and out of doors, and it might be that sometimes these doors open to like a brick wall, other times it's a door to like a shop or something like that. You think you can figure out how to find one to Waterdeep, but it's one of those things that it's in addition to opening the door, it's like having things in the right position. The analogy I can make is if you've ever seen when people have secret compartments in cars, and it's like you got to like put the AC on high, turn the radio on, and put the right turn switch on, and that's what opens up the secret compartment somewhere. This is actually a thing if you've never seen this. It's most of the time how drug dealers hide drugs and guns in the car, because it's not easy to open. No, we'll table talk it, but it is a legit thing. So you think that
I trust you.
but you think that you would need a few different things operated kind of like almost simultaneously. Like, all right, that candle holder over there needs to be turned like 45 degrees this way while that door is open and that door is closed, but we got to make sure that window's open. So it's almost like creating the correct cross breeze
Right.
Mhm.
in there. And you think that between the two of you, you guys are able to suss out what exactly the sequence of manipulations that is required to open a door that would get you the door that you're seeing that would be like the Waterdeep door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could use my mage hand to move the candle holder, and then that's like part of the conversation. Like I could use the mage hand to turn the candle holder, and then
I trust your expertise. Just do it.
okay, well we need to have this door open and that door closed,
And Hugon follows his instructions.
and then
And then what?
and then I need to play the Leaving Sigil song.
Okay. Is there
Wow.
actually a Leaving Sigil song?
Why yes. Yes, there is.
Funny you should ask.
Funny you should ask.
Yeah.
Because of
and-
course.
He gets out his lute and he sings. His eyes are drenched in shadow, no longer any fear. His acts become a bad show that comfort cannot pierce. I knew him the other day, spent all that time in Waterdeep. Now who he is I cannot say, but he's standing in deep water. His personality shrouded, whose honor does he revere? My memory is clouded, but my path is clear. He's standing in deep water, a little farther, and he'll be afloat. He's standing in deep water, someone send him a boat. And then he directs the mage hand to turn the candle holder, and he shuts the door in front of him. And then this other door opens, and then a rat scurries by and hits a button.
And all the things happen.
Yeah.
And who would notice this? I think for two different reasons. I think Thunuk and Dren should make perception checks.
Can I say that since Thunuk got a 1 on survival, he had a freak out moment and start talking to some of that razor weed everyone's talking about?
And the razor reed is just as hateful as that strange shadow plant.
I rolled a 2, so that would be a 1.
Okay.
I'm either really good or really shit right now.
That's okay.
14.
14. So you're having your freak out moment, and you found like a little bit of the razor weed. Did you try to touch the razor weed? Thunuk.
It clearly doesn't want to be touched.
I know, but it doesn't mean that Thunuk wouldn't
would start
try.
talking. Actually, yeah, you're right. He'd probably be like, "Hi, little razor
Ow!
weed." And
And this thing is like paper cut deep, like one of those. But as sings his song, which you find a little calming because it's a nice, familiar song, and but it's almost like you feel like it quiet for a moment, like the sound for you, not like physically like it quiets, but it's almost like the sound of all of the people and the press of humanity and that physical pressure that you've been feeling from being able to look up and see more of that. You feel like that pressure start to lessen a little bit, and almost like it quiets down, and it's like you're seeing this almost like an organism as it's moving with itself. And you can see how the different pieces are fitting together. And you see, like, as Eno is opening and shutting doors, and the rat comes out and pushes the button, and all of these things. And it could all just be very coincidental, but you can see, wow, wait, there actually might be a purpose here. You don't know what it is, but you feel a little calmer about it. You don't want to come back, but you just... But you're not. It's not. You're not as freaked out. But Freno. You broke my heart, Freno. You open the door for Waterdeep, and it's a door that looks like it's opening up to a brick wall, but you can see there's a shimmer of light. That as you open it, sort of like a waterfall of light sort of cascades down within the door frame, and you feel that you've opened an appropriate portal.
Nice work.
And
Hugon just goes straight through.
Goes right through. Everyone else, yes?
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on Hugon, so I'll follow next.
Through. And then Thunuk,
yes.
Alexi, maybe you should go next.
All right, then. Thank you very much. He
after you
through the door. Everyone goes. Yep. Because we can't.
And I go through.
And then Thunuk, you're left there. All of your friends have gone through the door except for you.
Then the door closes, and you are stuck in Sigil.
He stands up and he rushes out. Through the door,
and just and door shuts behind you. And where you all emerge is in a 20-foot by 20-foot room that is 20 feet high. It is a cube on the inside, and it is very well lit. It looks like a white marble floor with like polished granite walls. If you've ever seen that, it's actually it's interesting. If you ever seen like the polished granite, where it's like it's stone, but it's been polished to like glass smooth, and
It's a pain in the butt to do. I'll tell you what.
and speaking as Drenmai and as Clues, and you see on the opposite side of the room there is a door. There's the door you just came from. As you come through, it's basically just like bricks that are set into the granite wall behind you. You're not sure if it was carved that way, if bricks were actually placed there. The workmanship is mwah, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But on the floor in front of you, set into this white marble, is the Acquisitions Incorporated logo.
Wow. I think we're in the headquarters.
Would be nice. They're far more mercenary than we are, and they'll do anything for money. So,
Since I used to work for them, do I recognize this place?
This looks like one.
Still work for them, but I used
Yeah.
to work here.
Yeah, you used to be at the home office. Then you took a different path. Yes, this looks like one of the portal rooms that they use because obviously there's a need to have contact now that there are branches opening. One, there was probably already we know for a fact that there is a reason why there might be doorways from Sigil to Waterdeep, specifically Ack Inc. wise. But you know that this was sort of like a safety precaution that they had some of the gateways redirected to Acquisitions Incorporated and specifically into like these holding rooms. So that way it couldn't be like a random closet in the Ack Inc. headquarters. It would all of a sudden open up from Sigil and who knows what would come rushing out of there.
mm-hmm.
So that it provides ample ambush and assassination opportunities for theft and corporate espionage. So as a safety precaution, as part of the portal protocols, the portals have all been redirected to like these safety rooms within headquarters. So that way, if need be, they could seal the room off if forces untoward were trying to attempt access to headquarters this way. So, and you can see there's like a scrying orb like set into the door so they can see like who's coming out.
Mm.
I wave at it.
And you hear a boom, and it turns it like turns a little green, so you know that it's actually been unlocked. You're allowed to leave the room.
Oh. Well, I think I conjure the mage hand again, and I have it open the door. I have it turn the handle.
I'll act as cool as possibly can, just because I see them like panicking, but I've been here before, so it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, this is normal, blah blah blah, and they can have their whatever reaction.
Yeah, I don't 100% trust
Yep.
everything that I'm seeing all the time, and
Yep.
I've
So-
been burned before.
Here's the question for Drenmai, because
Hmm.
yeah, there's that gear of. All right, is it that Drenmai is actually cool with it and be like, no, whatever, it's like, this is my famous friend, right? But no, we're actually friends. Or is it more like you're trying to act cool because you're like,
Oh no.
I know that I've been here and that makes me a little bit more special than everyone else in this room right now because I've been here before. So
I don't think she has that much like depth or narcissism. It's literally just like, this is somewhere I've been.
Okay,
Let's just do the thing. Like,
mm-hmm.
how to describe it? Or for like us, like
It's a
I've been to
comfort.
so many PAXes. It's like I've been here. Nothing's interesting, but I still love it.
No, it's not. You're not inflicted with that sense of awe. It's
Yeah,
like,
I don't
this is-
have that.
There's a comfort. Okay, so you can see that there's a comfort with
Yeah.
Drenmai because it's like, this is I've been here before. And yeah, so mage hand, door opens, and it opens up into a hallway, and it's like in my head I have like this almost like it's like a like a 60s corporate office vibe where there's people up and down the hallways. It's people having conversations with each other. It's a very corporate environment. It's very
I need a
buzzy
water
and
cooler
alive.
somewhere.
Yeah, there's water. There's a water cooler. There's people that are like having
Cooler
conversations.
golem somewhere.
Yeah.
What's the name of the bot they had to give the potions? You know, just but it's like it's very like dun 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 dun. You can almost hear like the of like this is corporate, right? There's a vibe to it, and you're not entirely sure that it's not a manufactured vibe. Like you wouldn't be surprised if Omen hired people just to stand around talking at the water cooler. So it's like, oh wow, this is a really busy place. And look at those people over there talking at the water cooler. This is it's like it's a manufactured like culture. You know, so it might be
Thing is so disgustingly orderly, like nauseatingly in place.
pages are running back and forth, delivering notes between offices and letters. There's actually there's a mail.
Hugon will snatch a page, like literally, if need be, off of the ground.
Dexterity check to see if you're able to do so.
That's a natural 20.
Womp, 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 womp. All right.
He doesn't even look. He just snaps out a hand and grabs one by the
As it
back of
comes
the collar,
by.
off the ground. Where is the exit?
Well, that would be Drenmai would be able to lead you to the exit.
Yeah, but I hate her.
I don't want to talk.
But you're
to
grabbing the
you.
piece of paper, or you're grabbing the page.
The actual page.
Oh,
person.
I thought you were trying to grab a piece of paper.
No.
I was
Like you said there are pages running back.
I just had this vision. I just had this vision of you grabbing a piece of paper. Where's the exit?
No. A living person.
Living person. And he's like, down the hall, up the stairs, and to the left, through the gift shop.
Drop. Exit.
Thank you, sir.
Hugon, don't you think maybe a little bit?
Nope.
Oh.
I love how extra.
In fact, when I need your opinion about what I think, I will surely ask.
Oh, I love this.
Well, you need to stop taking that tone with me, sir.
What are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do? Well,
Is the answer nothing? Because I'm feeling like it is.
Oh God.
maybe next time.
Hey, the
you
mask
know,
smiles.
maybe next
Ugh.
time you can maybe show a little bit more friendliness
Mhm. And
towards your
he-
fellow coworkers. We're a team, Hugon.
For now.
Are you okay, Hugo?
Like I'm not okay?
Breakfast?
Did you skip breakfast?
I think you may have skipped breakfast.
But he's got a lot of
Cookie.
thoughts today. Pissing me off. And he just goes right on out.
Ina will remember this.
You know we'll remember this. -10!
I guess he's fine. I
Just
turned to
skipped
Dren.
breakfast.
Yeah, I think he's. We should probably go get him some breakfast. What do you think?
I wanna see like the home cooking edition with Hugon.
The what?
The home cooking edition.
Like everyone's trying to
understand.
like shove you off basically to go do food, and it's like they'll physically sit you down. It's like, here, try this food. If not, get drunk or something.
Yeah.
It just
Sounds awful.
like
Yeah, back to
ridiculous
brunch
reality
montage.
show. Yeah. It's just funny in my
It sounds not enjoyable in the slightest.
Well, let's see. Okay, with my knowledge of where we are, is there some place where I can appease them to get food? Not gift shop food.
No, no, you don't want the gift shop food. There's the cafeteria.
Okay.
Well, there's the cafeteria and there's the executive dining room, but you don't get access to the executive dining room. That's
Okay.
there's only like 4 five. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 people alive that are allowed access to the executive dining room.
Okay. So I'll nod to Eno and Fanook and be like, okay, well let's head this way and we'll get him some actual food. And I'll
Well,
lead him.
But I think he's
over
on his way out though. If I'm understanding, he's on his way like out the door. So unless you're going to try to physically restrain him, which I think we know how that would end, or at least what the result of that would be, he's on his way out the door.
We should, Dren. We should follow him. I'm really worried.
So tempted to polymorph him into a frog.
Please,
I wouldn't.
please try that and see how long you live. Please just try that.
I wouldn't antagonize him right now. He doesn't. He seems like a little. I mean, if it's even possible, he seems a little more on edge.
Hugon.
I mean, he's
Like,
almost.
Is this Hugon in his 20s, like brimming with testosterone?
That does not seem inaccurate to you.
Okay.
I mean, Hugon is almost Hugh gone.
Gone.
Good night, folks.
Good night, folks. We lost Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't know you could, but apparently there's a way to lose, and we just did.
there's
That was it.
lots of
Everyone
ways.
dies.
There's a
No,
fail
no.
state. There's a fail state.
There's lots of.
and TPK ain't it. I think that pun might have been.
I love how there's a way you can lose D&D but not win.
But winning is the friends we make along the way.
Let's see. Like halfway tempted to frickin' try and grapple him, but
We know how that works.
I'm still a pretty strong boy.
Yeah, but we know how your grapples work.
I know, and I've been rolling either really good. I'll either crit or I'll fail.
Crit or die.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, I guess we'll just have to follow him since he's on his mission. Are people just going to let him roll through like he's been here before?
Got an Ack Ink badge.
Yeah, that's
badge.
true. You got the Ack Ink badge.
We all do. We
So-
do belong here.
And it's really, it's not like he's got like a visitor pass on there. And generally, you're
It's
seeing
not so much more that he's not allowed here. It's just that nobody's ever seen him here.
but that's not uncommon.
Okay.
There's,
And these are all actors.
yeah, half of them are actors, so it's more like some of it's like the like a Truman
They're
Show.
contractually obligated to not interact with employees.
Yeah, because if you get asked the question and you don't know the answer to it, that could be the end of your, your part gets cut, right? And they recast you, and you do not want to go through the recasting process. It's yes.
First, you have to be melted down,
Yes.
and then
They start all over. But you are seeing that there's people, and yeah, I mean, people are there's clients that are coming in. It's not on contractors, things like that. Other franchises from all over the place. But there is like a parting of the sea of people as Hugon's working his way out, because people also do know, as part of the orientation training, that if something looks angry, just stay out of its way. If something looks sharp, stay out of its way. If something looks glowy, stay out of its way. If something looks Jim, stay out of its way. Because, things are going to happen, if you don't. On purpose or by accident. It's just the nature of Acquisitions Incorporated. And monsters. In fabulous riches. Okay, so Hugon, he goes up the steps. You go out. You get to the gift shop area where you have all the various and sundry, collectibles. There's the plushies. There's the T-shirt wall. Mostly Jim.
I want
Some
a
VR.
gym plushie. That'd be cool.
Well, they have like the gym plushie, then they have like the giant gym plushie, but then they also have like
Then they have the gym body pillow.
there is the gym body pillow. They have that.
Wow.
Well, you need that, and it's got like it's been enchanted with like spooning action on that. So I mean, why wouldn't it? You know, because everyone sometimes you need a
We
little
already
gym.
tried, but it was hurting Jim Body Pillow's sales, so they took the VR body pillow off the line.
Yeah, because the VR pillow it got a little
Oh, it's
randy.
bad.
Yeah, I mean, it understood no is no, but the problem was that
It's not even enchanted. It just hugs. It just hugs.
It just hugs back.
just hugs
There's
back.
something about it.
sometimes it was just VR. It was.
Surprise!
There's and there's a little VR in every one. You don't want to know. There's like the baby Jim plush. That's been a really popular item. They've got the glass case out with all the these are like where the collectibles are, right? You've got like the replica AC Ink badges that people if you've ever been down to the beach, like especially here like in Jersey, people can buy like Ocean City Beach Patrol stuff that they can wear. It's like you're not actually on the beach patrol, but you're still wearing it. But yeah, so they got like the AC Ink badges that are like pewter looking, that you get the collectibles. There's the there's like the framed photos that are signed, that you can buy that are like set in like the plexiglass, for collectible. There's the AC Ink CCG cards that they have laid out, that have all been, rated to make sure that, if you need that for your deck, they have all those behind glass and everything. So green foam fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Foam fingers.
No idea.
Anyway.
No, you can't see it because the camera angle is just a little bit off. It's
Yeah, I'm like, what are you looking at?
Oh, I'm saying, or
My foam finger.
He's like, he keeps turning around. There's nothing there. But yeah, there's it's a nicely appointed gift shop. It's doing a brisk amount of business, because exit through the gift shop.
Right.
So walk outside. There's like right by the exit. There's the inflated wavy hand guy. Purple. There's one that looks like Jim. There's one that looks like VRE. Just waving its hands around. Not sure what's powering it, but hey, that's the thing. So when you find yourself, you exit out and you find yourself in Waterdeep. And I'm trying to remember. I don't think they ever described what ward the headquarters was in. I would imagine it would be in the trade ward.
Did
they?
At the beginning of season 3.
Oh God, that's a long time ago.
Which was the space season? Last year. Yeah, they do at the beginning of that season, and then I don't remember where they said it was.
Oh. Well,
it's all right.
Right now, we'll just say so. You find
We
yourself.
can retcon it.
Retcon. It's in the trade ward. That makes the most sense. I mean, it's where all the merchants and people are going to go. So, yeah, you find yourself in the midst and the hustle and bustle of Waterdeep. You do know that the watch there does keep the peace, and that the use of it, like beyond like petty crime, there's guards that come after that. But you do know, all of you are aware of the fact. Well, maybe not Thunuk, but the rest of you would be aware of the fact that justice for egregious crimes and use of magic is dealt with swiftly and decisively by very, very powerful wizards and
Waterdavian security does not fuck around.
No, it's so. And this is like if like you were in like, if you remember back in EverQuest trying to pick a fight with the guard, bad idea, because they were always leveled up beyond anything else that was out there. So it's one of those things that's like, you would know that if you were to do anything really untoward, that it would be met with retribution beyond your probably ability to deal with in a reasonable manner.
That sounds like Ultima, like the first few iterations of Ultima. You fuck with the
The
town
law
guard
response to anything above
Yeah.
petty theft in Waterdeep is scorched earth.
in this kind of environment, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Like, they have a sect of people that they call in if things go bad, that they don't care about collateral damage. And the Lords of Waterdeep are, solve this problem immediately, and they go and they solve it, and people die.
Noted.
But you find yourself,
So, but effectively, Thunuk should probably not cast Calm Emotions on Hugon.
That would be bad.
well, that might be bad for him. It wouldn't. That wouldn't summon the, um, uh,
Wouldn't
he's-
summon like the SEAL Team 6, but like a guard would be like, "Hey, don't do that."
yeah, I'm looking for. Well,
It's like
I mean,
dragon shouting in
that's
town.
like the stuff that's like you do it, and it's not like that. That's like below. You know, it's like unless Hugon went and made a complaint to like the guards or the watch, a civil complaint, and that would then be brought before a magistrate for reckless use of magic or something like that. So, but that wouldn't like automatic. It'd be more like if Dren cast Fireball, that would summon. And I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'm looking in.
It's
in,
Gray something. It's like Gray Watch or
Force Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that would summon Force Gray, and that would be
There's a Frost Giant on Force Gray team,
yeah.
by the way. Like a legit Frost Giant.
Oh.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah, that would not.
He's really not nice.
Yeah, so like doing that, like mild mischief and things like that, is not going to do much of anything. But if it devolves into like a fight, for example, then it would be like, oh, okay, then the guards and the watch might get involved. But if it turns out that it's gonna be like, wait a minute, this is going to turn into something that needs to be contained, then Force Gray is deployed, and that is going to be the end of whoever is. So there is a level of escalation. But again, Thunuk probably doesn't know this, him not being, city wise and all that. But being that the others either through, my guess is that Hugon would probably know that just through military stories. That's the story that's going to get told of like, dude, Force Gray, wow. If one of them showed up, it'd be like, wow, that's guy. That's like a awe-inspiring thing. Drenmai and Eno would know about it just from any time they had spent in Waterdeep. That, there's just things you don't do that even Dren knows. Hang on, that gets me turned into Dren-shaped jelly. But you find yourself in the city of splendor, hustling and bustling with commerce and people and the smells of a city. And cities don't smell very good. But just the fabled and storied city of Waterdeep. Potential just abounds in the air.
Dren, any idea where he's going?
Could just ask him.
I don't think he's gonna tell us.
Hugon! Where are we going?
Weedy?
Following you.
You don't have to follow me.
Following you.
Why?
Yeah, wait.
We're a team.
We're a team.
Don't
Hugo.
you have
We gotta-
something better to do?
Probably.
Well, we
Like
have
a
we have
mission or a job?
Well, I
which
mean,
you're
why,
part of.
yeah.
Go
Why
ahead,
wouldn't you come with us too?
Because I have a very particular skill set and it's not being utilized.
Well, aren't you special?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like
I have a very particular set of skills.
I
will
feel
fight
like
you.
I feel like you're being very combative today.
I feel like everybody is trying to get in my personal business and I don't appreciate it. If I have a personal matter to attend to, let me do it.
Well,
And
why
I will
didn't
come
you just
find you.
why didn't you just say that?
Why should I have to explain myself?
Well, you just go off on your own all the time. I mean, like what?
Drin does it all the time. No one says shit to her but me. Thunuk does all kinds of nonsense on all kinds of
No.
occasions.
Normally, we do all talk about where we're gonna go and what we're doing. Normally, we do, but you just sort of leave. And I mean, like,
What's the conversation
It-
going? What do you want from me?
it would be nice if you communicated to us, hey, I need to go take care of something.
Okay, I'm gonna go drink my face off at the docks. When you're done doing whatever it is you're doing, that's where I'll be.
Sounds good. Thank you for communicating that to us. Dren and Zuna, perhaps we should go take care of our business.
Looks like some of us are gonna be adults.
Thunuk looks at Hugo and very, very squarely says, "Before you do that, you should have some water and eat something first." I think it'd be best.
I'm glad to know what you think. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Gives him a hug.
And Hugon
He'll
goes
be better
stomping
once he's
off
done.
through the streets down to. I'm assuming he's going to head down to like the docks
Oh yeah,
area
the
because that's
waterfront.
well because that satisfies the search criteria, right? It's
does.
the highest concentration of bars,
Alcohol, bad decisions, and ne'er-do-wells.
and that's and fire probably
Probably,
where you'll be
potentially.
able to find Zent the Unwise. And the other three of you, and I have this. So the visual I have is like Hugon, like stop. So if we're looking at the camera's coming probably like a low shot by the street as people are walking back and forth. We see the buildings of Waterdeep, the blue sky above, and Hugon like marching off, doing his thing. And there's Eno and Thunuk, and Dren is sitting up on Thunuk's shoulder, kind of like watching Eno stomp off, and with various levels of concern, curiosity.
Not Eno stomping off.
Not Eno.
Hugon.
Sorry, Thunuk stomping off, and like the
Hugon.
three-
Stomping
Not
off.
the
Hugon-
Nook stomping off. Reset.
Okay.
Hugon stomping off because Brian knows names, and
Okay.
the three
It's
of
like
you.
my father. My father, like when he's like he needs something, he just shouts every child's name, and eventually somebody, like all four of us, will show up, and he'll be like, "I need you," and the others will depart.
A couple of the dogs' names get thrown in there. Just you. The three of you watching Hugon stomping off with various levels of concern, curiosity, however you're reacting to that, and left to your own devices, which I think we'll be picking up on your own devices next week, because this is a good place for us to call today's game.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, City of Splendors is pretty wild.
yes, we're going to have some fun in Waterdeep as Team X continues their odyssey around Faerun and the adjacent realms. But yeah, that is today's game. So, we will be right back with the table talk.
Howdy took.
So stick around, and we will see you in just a couple of minutes. So everybody behave themselves. Or don't. It's fine.
See you in a couple minutes.
You just got pwned, 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 pwned. Got pwned, pwned. Blah, 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 blah. You just got owned. Got pwned. Pwned. Got pwned. You just got pwned, pwned.
Tabletuk.
Tablet.
You fool of a took. Fool of a table took.
Throw
Anyway.
yourself in next time and rid us of your stupidity. Yes.
Rid us of your stupidity. We shall do some table talking now. Talking about things that happened today. Things that didn't happen today.
Things.
A whole host of potential topics. And if anyone in the stream has any questions for us, please share your questions. I can't promise you an honest answer. I can just promise you an answer. And we will start in we're going to start in quadrant 3 again. And that would be Raz, the purplish monkey mechanism.
Purple adjacent.
Purple
Well,
adjacent.
I did want to mention that my cup is Warwick Castle. Today.
Very nice.
I did want to mention that.
Stream of mugs.
There were some good moments. Alexi being checked out by Naughty, by Grandma Jen Weaver. That was cool. Hugon having the conversation in the bar with the Minotaur was really good. Yeah, I can't really pick a specific thing.
Okay.
Because usually I have more time to think about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we shall. It's okay. It's fine. Unspooling as we do in a anti-clockwise motion, we shall now move on to Gideon Reese.
Me.
You.
Top moment. The talking to the Razorgrass was fun. Like that little brief moment of talking to living barbed wire. That was just neat. I mean, we got to throw props on Eno's song.
Mm-hmm. As always.
Always. I mean, and that's not like a obligatory props. Like, it's because it was fucking good. The lore dump was interesting. Like, even though it doesn't really, like, Hugon wasn't really around to experience it, so, like, he won't have this knowledge. It was still very interesting to hear Lich grandmother describe things that, like, no mortal should rightly understand. So it was a little unusual and very interesting. So I'm interested to see how that will play back out. The dank room, which is what I'm going to be calling it from now on. The dank room. Trying to think what else.
Yeah, we haven't had a good food episode in a while, so I think
We haven't had a good food episode.
That's kind of
snickerdoodles are awful.
Just
gonna throw that out there.
How dare you?
I think I understand why you don't like them, because that's a flavor profile area that you probably can't detect.
It's exactly why I don't like them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like to me, it just tastes like sweet. There's no nuance. There's no interest. It's just
so
like
for you, it's probably
like
cloying.
sugar cookies in general are just like, yeah, okay, I ate sweet bread.
So it's kind of cloying, or is it just that
it's not cloying? It just doesn't have anything interesting in it. It's like putting sugar on toast. It just tastes like sugar.
Okay,
And toast?
Because again, cinnamon sugar on toast is really good, but again, if you can't pick up on that
If
nuance,
I could smell, I'm sure that I would be totally into that.
all right,
But
well, that'll be our next. Okay, on the next breakdown build up, we need to figure out
Crack
how to
open
fix
his skull and figure out how to fix his
Well, not his. Someone else's first.
Yeah.
Start off
the nerves
with
are gone. They're essentially just scarred over.
Well, listen, we don't prototype it on him. You prototype it on someone else first, so that way the finished he gets the result of it. Because if we don't do it right the first time, then he's worse for wear. Anyway, favorite moment of the game coming from Ivan Martino.
The Eno song actually was kind of fantastic.
Yes.
And every time you do that, they get. I think you're expanding into the and this is never going to be a complaint, but you're expanding into let's have an Eno concert and I think that'd be kind of fun. That'd be a fun episode to do.
He's building his concert lineup just
Yeah,
ever so slowly.
eventually you'll do your free bird one of these episodes, and someone in the audience is gonna call for it, and they'll get
Inevitably, that person will be destroyed, just utterly annihilated down to the atoms. That's the power that Eno will wield.
I'm liking the descriptions we're getting from this biomechanical face mask that is now smiling at us.
Smile insofar as like it doesn't
it
have
can
like
move.
teeth, or it just has like
The skin kind of just moves in a
skin
smiling...
kind of like shifted, and it looked adjacent to a smile.
like just here it gets like the smile lines like right here, and it gets a little smoother right here. Oh god.
It's not pleasant.
And I really like Grandmama Gem Weaver. She's great. I look forward to meeting her again.
She's fun. Well, speaking of gem weavers, we find ourselves speaking with none other than Clues.
I think just watching the irritable 20-something Hugon, just like the whole thing, is very fun for me, especially for Dren. Like, player and character are both amused by it.
Oh, that's good. That's good when you can...
Because, like, for Dren, she can, poke and prod the bear, and then I'm just enjoying the shit out of it, because it's like, so grumpy. Well, not even so much grumpy as just, like...
Belligerent.
Yeah.
It's that teen, like I have emotions and hormones, and I don't know where to put them.
There.
Emotions, hormones, the desire to split from the parental unit to start asserting independence, and a complete lack of the knowledge they need, and the lack of knowledge that they lack that knowledge.
Yeah, that's sort of that invulnerability.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm fine. I know everything I need to know.
It's very fun to watch. Especially since I'm picturing at some point it's gonna go away, and I want to see that like go from 0 to 60. It's really easy to go from 0 to 60, but then going from 60 to 0,
They start pumping the brakes and
crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really an interesting. It's definitely interesting to play.
I'm gonna be a dick to my friends.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
it's,
we know not to take it personally.
Well, I
Yes,
know,
yes.
and like my goal would never be to like personally target.
yeah, no, I understand, and that's why again, I think I can safely mention that off stream I'd asked to make sure everything was okay, because it's like, oh god, did I really piss him off?
It's important. It's
Yeah.
important. Like this is a departure from the norm.
Yeah,
So it's important to gauge the room and figure out what exactly is going on.
and I'd
Gauge
say,
the table.
and
And
that's
it helps that the character acting was practically chef.
oh, dude, that was get on stage, dude. I mean, I'm thinking all seriousness. I mean, that's you're tapping into something there, so that's good.
But the wrath.
No, like be able to tap into that in an authentic way. There's always there's a saying of never let them catch you acting, right? And that's so like Hayden Christensen in every Star Wars movie was acting, and you could see it, whereas like De Niro, you never see him acting. Like if you see, you know what I'm saying?
Coming from, I don't. I
As
think
in-
I have a curious perception of film, but I completely
Yeah.
understand where
where there's
like,
there's a naturalness to it. There's a
like in theater.
yes, yeah, exactly. In theater, the same thing. That the best theater actors are obviously up there acting, but it doesn't come across as them acting. They're not thespian.
Very natural.
Yes, exactly. If you ever if you have the opportunity to see someone like an Anthony Hopkins or an Ian McKellen on stage,
Mhm.
it is phenomenal because they're stage acting, but it's just like it's amazing to watch. Or anyone that's really talented at that thing. But I'd say as a DM, it's always good to ask the question, right? Because
Mhm. For sure.
I would have no doubt, with the number of years combined that we have here in the game, at the table, not just this table, any RPG table, that's how friendships can get dissolved, destroyed, or even just turned askew because something happens during the game and maybe someone takes it personally, or someone took it personally that shouldn't, or someone was being personal when they shouldn't have been, or didn't realize, and that's where we can get in that kind of weird, you know.
And it's
yeah.
extremely important to be, you know,
Yeah.
to separate the character and the player.
Yeah, exactly.
Of
Unless
being like-
you're playing Magic and they play Agent of Treachery, in which case then throat punch them. It's fine.
Well, hold on. Hold on. That's a valid strategy. I will not have you disparage it. The point of Magic is to win. It's not to hold hands.
And Eno definitely pushed on it
Oh, yeah.
because it kind of brings me back, if I may, the thing that I liked the most about this session was that I was able to drop some backstory that I have not I've held on to that backstory for months since I started the campaign. I sent you what
yes,
my character was and stuff. And to be able to actually finally, I feel like a weight off my shoulders now that I've like kind of gotten that out. So Eno has some abandonment issues, and the fact that Hugon keeps leaving and not saying why he's leaving is affecting him, and that's why Eno started getting upset. And
Perfectly reasonable.
The dichotomy between Eno and Hugon there was amazing. Like that, I think that was my moment of the game. Was thank you for communicating.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna write that down.
Yeah.
That was my moment of the game.
And I'll say that. So I'm just writing that down. So we have been able to dip more thoroughly into Thunuk, Hugon's and Dren's backstory, but that's because we spent a season with the characters, and
two in some cases.
Well, no, but I'm saying we spent before Eno joined, before Vaz joined the game in season 2. Which again, very happy to have you. I'm glad you're part of this silly, dysfunctional little family.
Me too.
So it takes a while to work back into that, so that way it's not crowbarring it in when we already had some history. But now we're finally at a point where we can finally start getting into a little bit more. We've had little dribbles and drabs and little sprinklings here, but now we're gonna be able to start having fun with getting into Eno's backstory. We're gonna be able to start seeing some of the character arcs for Hugon, for Dren, for Thunuk that we've been working on for now almost 2.5 years. We're gonna be able to start getting to some character and some plot arcs that we're finally able to start cresting and seeing what the results of these are going to be. So we finally got there.
It's like wisdom teeth coming in.
It
hurts and it sucks, and it's like, oh. But then you have new teeth.
Then I have new teeth that I never had before, and they're huge. And the lore dump. I've been glad I could finally get some of that stuff out, because it's stuff I've been holding on to for 2.5 years. And I think if I had done that lore dump earlier, if I had done that in season 2, it would have forced it along too much. I think it would have been moving the plot along whatever plot we have with a sledgehammer, as opposed to allowing it to germinate the way that it did. So now finally, by dumping this, now were there ways it could have been revealed sooner? Yeah, I have no doubt. I am not going to call myself a master storyteller. I am not, but that's okay. So I'm really happy that we were able to get some of that information now, because that's actually a weight off of my shoulders, that more of this, I was able to peel back the layers a little bit and get into that. And all of it will eventually be in the Adventurer's Guide to the Chandlewood, which I started outlining this week.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yes. So we have irritable Hugon. Yes, we did a very irritable Hugon. I think the dank room is actually my favorite part.
Tank room's cool.
The dank room was fun just to describe, and I think that do we ever name the Minotaur?
We did not.
Oh, yeah, I
don't
don't, think
believe we
named
did.
him.
I don't believe we did.
No.
That's fine. He's a fun. He is a fun character.
I
I
actually
think-
had a brain break because we had. I did you switch his accents?
Yeah, I
No.
added. I did.
Oh, I mean, a little.
He had the deep gravelly accent. He had a deep gravelly voice from last week. Or
Mhm.
yeah, it was last week. Oh man. Yeah, I added in the not Cockney. I guess almost Cockney. I don't want to call it a Cockney because it's not quite there, but a kind of like that British English thing because. Some of the I'm always like watching like movie videos and on YouTube that get suggested, and one of them is seeing a lot of Tom Hardy playing characters like that. He did it in Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders. He had he had kind of like this like bootlegger character that he played in Peaky Blinders, and he had and Legend. He played twins that were like criminals, and he has kind of like this. He has this natural anarchist kind of bent in both of these, like this kind of like this fuck authority, and just for some
He
reason,
has very dangerous energy, that's for sure.
yeah,
in his-
and that.
in his characters.
Oh yeah, he is. Tom Hardy is a phenomenal actor when it comes to that, and he does it without overplaying it. That for some reason that just made a lot of sense. So yeah, I retconned it, and now he's going to be talking like I just liked it because it just seems like that was the kind of.
I did it because I wanted to.
Because I wanted to, and damn it, I can.
Because, behold, I am the Lord your God.
Because I'm the dungeon master, and you got to do what I say. No, you don't. You know how to make players stick to plot. So yeah, that was fun. So I'm looking forward to how we can trounce into this and how you guys can completely ruin all of the plans that I have made over the course of the last 3 years, because that is the one constant. I am calling it Rule X. I know it's always been out there, but I am naming it. I don't know if it has a name, but it's going to have a name now. It's the Rule X or Rule of X, which is, and this is why it works, no matter what you've planned for as a dungeon master, it doesn't matter how much. You could write a 2,000-page book on what's going to happen in the next session, planning for every nuance and scenario, and your players will find the one variable, the X, the one variable that you did not anticipate, and they will go that way with it. No matter what. The one iteration you couldn't possibly go, the one spell you forgot they had, whatever it is. And I don't mean this as this is not an insult to players. This is what every DM will ever deal with. And I know that we have three other DMs here, and you've probably all run into this, where it's like at a certain point you realize, I got to stop making notes about the game because they're just going to take it
Just fucking off the
just gonna
cuff
take
at
it
all
the
times.
fuck
Just-
all anyway.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun as well, is adapting to that chaos. And I am very thankful that you guys allow me to play in that chaos down in the muck. So it's a good thing. So do we have any other announcements, new business, things we need to discuss for the upcoming week?
Roz, were you gonna start doing that
Oh, yeah.
soon, or
Are we?
I haven't nailed down if it's going to be this coming week that we're going to start that, but I am considering doing a stream, hopefully on Thursday nights. That'll be like a story time,
I love it.
games where I can read things, or even maybe games that have voice actors. But I want to start with Kentucky Route Zero, which is a game that I played the first 4 acts and the interstitials, but then they've this year they've released the final chapter, which I have not played yet. So I want to play through the whole entire game.
Oh,
That's where
nice.
it's going to start.
What
is with that game.
what is that game? I'm not familiar with this game.
Kentucky Route Zero is a game that involves a delivery truck driver, and it starts out where he's trying to make a delivery, and he has issues with making that delivery, and that's all I'm going to say, because
Okay.
it's just
All right.
and the style of the game, it's an interesting graphic style, and the mechanics are interesting to me, and like there are choices that you can make during the game, and
Mhm.
so it's and the story is it just feels it like just gets weirder like
Nice.
as you keep going. It's
I
very
like it.
cool, very cool story. But yeah, I may start. It might. I'm thinking if it's not this Thursday, it'll be the next Thursday. So
Okay.
it depends on.
So very soon we will have a premiere
Yeah.
for Roz's new show. I'm very excited by this. And so keep an eye on all of our Twitters, and we will make sure that you know that the audience, our lovely audience that we love, will know about this. Well, why don't we take a step backward onto Tuesday night? What are we doing on Late to the Game?
Baldur's Gate still.
Okay.
I may have to reinstate the 50 continues rule on that.
Is it
Well,
Getting hard.
mostly it's not that that's super hard or anything like that. It's just that I feel like I don't know how long this game is in genuine, like how long the actual
What
story
city
is.
are you in?
I just got to the mine.
Oh, you have a while to go.
I just got to the mine, the first actual story quest, and my freaking necromancer died like 30 seconds in.
Yeah,
Nazgul Mines is a bastard of a dungeon.
it is.
For
It's
a
a-
first time.
It's 2E, so you got 2E rules, which are harsh.
It's 1E, bro.
Is it? Is it?
I
I think it's
first edition?
advanced D&D.
I thought they were
It's-
playing off a second
Is
edition. at that
Thaco
point.
in first edition or
Yeah,
second?
so
edition?
both. Oh, we didn't get.
Ah.
They didn't fix that bullshit until I think fourth
Third.
edition. Third.
No, they didn't think it. They
There
didn't fix
was no
the
Thaco
It
when I
took them.
started.
It
Now
took them
third.
almost 20 years to say if we had the numbers go
I
the
think,
other direction, it
uh,
makes a lot more sense.
I think Baldur's Gate 2 is full second edition, but I think
Ah.
Baldur's Gate 1 is advanced D&D.
Okay. Oh, so it's brutal. That's why.
Okay.
It's- It's out of control.
yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. And
I think if only because I don't want this becoming. It's either that or I'm going to not spend the entire evening playing it now that I've got my capture card working.
oh, there you go.
I need to hook up an emulator box so I can start playing old console games again.
So for the folks in chat, if you have a suggestion for an old console game for Yvonne to play, please share, because there's a wealth of games out there that
Oh yeah.
we could get him into.
And tomorrow night I'm disassembling my last laptop that I have on hand.
Ah,
And then I've got no more laptops to disassemble. I might actually. I have the parts to repair my phone. I broke the screen.
Hmm.
I might take that apart in
Okay.
the future and repair
If I
that.
could find a part for my M11X, you could take that apart.
Find a part for it.
I need the pin that basically holds the laptop screen top to the base of the keyboard.
Uh-huh.
That whole rod in there has basically disintegrated.
Oh dear.
Yeah. It was a faulty thing that Alienware made way back long ago.
Ugh.
So if I could find replacement parts, I could send that to you and you could do that.
ooh,
Oh, you mean like repair it?
that would
Yeah,
be
if you
fun.
wanted like another one
Sure.
to
No,
add to your thing.
Sure. sure.
At this point, all I'm really doing is disassembling them for recycle.
Should we just should you
yeah.
change your Twitter thing to Yvonne Martino commissions open will destroy your laptop
Will break
on
tech.
on stream and
No,
send- and
it's Yvonne the Martino, tech breaker.
tech breaker. Very cool. Yeah, hey, listen, if you want him to break something, send it to him. It's great.
Yeah, I have more fodder to add.
And then on Saturday night at 7:30 p.m., Neil and I will be back for Saturday Night Fights, where we're continuing Transformers, the card game. Maybe one of these times I will actually win one. I am currently 0-4. He is 4-0.
Nope.
I need to redo that. So maybe if depending on how my workload is this week, I might get on the stream just to have people help me build a deck, because my decks are all terrible.
It's that
right
you're
now.
always streaming when I'm at work.
This is true. So maybe we'll figure something out. I don't know.
Because I can barely tune in to Yvonne on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
But that's usually because Tuesday is such a dead day. And then it's like, damn, I
Well-
can't watch card games.
Yes. Moshing Badger is here watching the stream. Yes, Moshing
Oh,
Badger.
hey.
I shall have my revenge upon you. I shall have my revenge, and we shall go to war, and I shall
Send
win.
me,
The narrator, he won't.
if you can send me like a text file of
the rules
Oh,
and
yes.
your deck and how you want it to act, maybe I can shoot you something back.
Oh yes, let's do this. All right, you
And
and I are
also
talk-
shoot me the insider on moshing badgers too, because
will.
you have experienced the business end of it, and that's an important consideration
my
when
friend,
you're playing a person.
You and I are going to talk. You and I are going to talk off stream. I am looking for you. Have you're tickling the black depths of my heart. And it's making me
that
happy.
basal ganglia. Ooh.
Okay. Well, hey, everyone, thank you very, very much for tuning in to yet another edition, another episode of Team X. And we will be back next week with a brand new episode. And thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, be cool, stay safe, and don't drink bleach.
And stay away.
Stay the fuck away from each other.
All
Get
right.
away from me.
All right. That's right.
Bye.
Don't touch your face.